Good morning. It's 8:41. We have Dr. Chapa in studio today. I'm excited. We have an awesome show. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be talking about health, wellness, perceived reality. We're going to be talking about social media. We're going to be talking about everything, maybe even outer space. I don't know, but we got 10 seconds. So we're going to get into Kickstart. Go ahead and share this video out today. We're giving away a Benito's gift card through our Facebook right now. So here we go. Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It's 8:41. We have the man, the legend, Dr. Chapa in studio. Good morning, Dr. Chapa.
Oh, good morning, my friends. How are you all this fine morning?
Doing pretty good today. How are you yourself?
Oh, man, I'm fine as frog here. I'm feeling great, living great. Life is great.
What do you got right there?
This is a main squeeze power drink. It's cucumbers, chard, broccoli, kale, lime, celery, parsley juice. And it's just a great way to kickstart the morning. It's a nice little, wonderful, green, amazing power shot of information. It's 6 pounds of produce goes into making this.
Oh my
if you
goodness.
haven't been to Main Squeeze in Webster, absolute amazing people, amazing company. They don't. It's all cold pressed. Nothing is pasteurized, homogenized. No preservatives. I mean, all their juices taste absolutely dynamo. And great smoothies, and I mean, it's just, and the owners are absolutely, dynamo folks.
Yeah.
We've had a conversation with them before, and they are fantastic people. Next time you're in there, we say hi.
I will. Maybe Jeff and I'll get on social media and go, KHEA Radio, what's going on?
Yeah.
So.
Hey, speaking of pasteurized, my son found this section on our TV remote where you can play games, and it's pretty neat. But they have quizzes, and part of them are food quizzes, movies, television. And under the food quiz, we were taking one just for fun, right? And one of the questions was about pasteurized food and like if it's illegal or legal to sell. And I was like, I know this. You are not allowed to sell. It has to be this process and everything. And my wife misunderstood me, and we got the answer wrong anyways. But it's just a little fact I learned from you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's amazing. In order to sell across state lines and to have food last as long as it does on the shelves, there's a lot that we have to do to preserve that convenience, and a lot of times the pesticides, the herbicides, the fungicides, the pasteurization process, the art of preservation is really just loading chemicals into our food supply, and so we live in what we call the empty harvest. That we are tons of food, tons of options, tons of things that we can tickle our taste buds with, but is it really good food for you? Is it really nourishing to the cells? And does it allow the tissues to regenerate and regrow and heal and be energized as food should? Or is it slowly killing you?
Yeah, so the main point, we're trying to heal our body and replenish it, or like what's the purpose of food?
Yeah, so if you look up the Webster's dictionary in the big red dictionary, everybody probably has one. We don't use it. We use our phones nowadays, but Webster's also on your app, and it is to nourish, regenerate, to energize cellular tissue. It is to make the body, give the body resources to regenerate and grow, and when you stimulate regeneration, healing, and you have what we call regenerative states of physiology, where your brain is fully functional, spirit, mind, and body, whenever you're in your 80s or 90s or at the end of your life, and you're fully functional. Like, think about that. And my mentors have always taught me, like, ask these questions. What do you want your life to look like after you've built it? I can ask this, I always tell this story, like if there's you and a twin, and one of you smokes, drinks, parties all the time, stays up late, doesn't ever get good sleep, and one of you eats well, thinks well, associates well, reads well, stimulates their body well, good exercise, things of that nature, at 80, which one is healthier? Mm-hmm. Which one looks healthier from just a physical, like, let me look at you appearance, and everybody goes, oh, it's the one that took care of themselves. Well, so we innately know that, but yet we're so often, easy to slip down the slippery slope of disease, diagnosis, symptom patterns that we weren't genetically born with. And what if we could be mindful of, all right, evaluate that food. Is that a real food, or is that a sometimes food? And if you start recognizing that the bulk of the diet that your food intake you're putting in is a sometimes food, that processed food can cause your body to break down and not perform at its best. So let's think of looking at food. Is this going to empower my body to be its best, or is it going to cause my body to slip down the slippery slope of disease, sickness, symptom patterns that we weren't genetically born with?
Right now, it's 8:46. We have Dr. Chapa in studio. If you're watching on Facebook, feel free to ask questions. If you have any issues that you're dealing with in your body that you weren't born with, now is the time to ask them. We'll get them asked. Dr. Chapa will give his best answer.
And not only that, make sure you like, share, or comment if you have a symptom pattern that you're not genetically born with, just so we know that we're not the only ones that have issues that pop up in our lives. Curt, Gardy, and I, we just sit in here thinking
it's only us.
It's only us. But reality, we need to know if you guys are dealing with something. It doesn't matter if it's a headache. It doesn't matter if it's blood pressure. It doesn't matter if it's. You don't have to tell us unless you want to. But I mean, it's okay, because what it does is it allows us to associate with a community of people that know that we're all in this together.
It's that perceived reality. These people on Facebook, you're living your perfect life, and over here I'm dealing with this issue and that issue, and I just don't know. I need to know I'm not alone.
Perceived reality is always a good thing, right?
I think so.
Well, it can be, unless you're struggling.
Well, but it is. Perceived reality is it's the way of the world. So, everybody, that's one of the things about Facebook that is why they nickname it Fake Book, because we only typically show our best cards. There's a few people that go on rants, right? But
Curt,
wow,
easy.
You can't even be facetious on the internet anymore.
I know you
I
can't.
sneezed.
And so, anyway, I think that perceived reality is something that we have to be mindful of. And look, nobody's perfect. None of us have this all figured out. But what we know is there are some basics that we can stick to. You should drink 32 ounces of water per 50 pounds of body weight every day. My wife got so excited one morning, and she goes, Honey, I drank 115 ounces of water today. I said, that's awesome, honey. She goes, what does that mean? I said, it means you get to do it again tomorrow. And she goes, oh. Because we have to find joy in some of the mundane, like taking care of yourself, going for a walk every day. What if you were supposed to go on a walk every day to preserve your heart, and you didn't do it, and you missed 15 years of quality living? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what if you instead of eating, the hamburger, you ate salads every day, and it paid off for you? Now, somebody might make the case, well, what if I eat salads and I eat healthy food and I walk out and get hit by a truck? Well, that might have been God's plan. Unfortunately, that's the way it ended for you. But how do you roll the dice like that? I mean, we know you can't outrun a bad diet. Like, sooner or later, bad living will catch up to you. So we always want to be teaching people to do more of the right thing. So take 7 steps forward, 3 steps back, you're still a net positive gain of 4. So 70% of the time, eat right, think right, live right, drink your good fluids right, get hydrated right, get your mineral levels up right. And then 30% of the time, fall off the wagon, and you're still moving forward. So if you do that every day, every week, every month, all of a sudden, at the end of your year, you're moving forward, and even know that you haven't necessarily been perfect. So remember, there's only one that's ever been perfect.
Jesus.
That's right.
Awesome.
I saw a meme yesterday, and it said, if you skip the cheese on your cheeseburger every time you have a burger throughout the year, that would be like 5,722 calories that you'll have. And then the response was like, first of all, mind your own business. It was one of those really funny things. But it is those small steps, like, hey, you know what? I can't cut this out, but I'm going to make this step where I'm going to remove this from my life, or like every other time. And it is those baby steps to where you can get to the goals that you have.
So can I tell y'all a joke?
Yes.
Knock, knock. Oh, wait, you wanted to tell the joke.
I wanted to tell a joke,
okay.
but if you got one first, that's okay.
I only got really bad dad jokes. No one wants to hear them.
Oh, okay. So I think y'all appreciate this just off what you just said. So who is the creator
Owl.
of cheese?
Okay, who is the creator of cheese? I don't know.
You know, Curt?
I don't.
Jesus. Isn't that terrible?
Everyone just like left.
Oh, sorry.
Everyone just tuned to like
no, don't
a different radio station.
turn the dial. It's
Oh
okay.
my
No more
gosh.
jokes. No more jokes. It's okay.
Hey, Dr. Chapa, so we have a bunch of questions coming in already. If you have a health question, you can go ahead and ask it right here on the Facebook Live page if you're watching us on Facebook. If you're listening in the car or at home at 99.5 FM, You can go ahead and send us a text message that's 346-704-1806. It's 346-704-1806. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today, and the question that I had, so last Saturday, I actually picked up some elderberry juice. It was just a local person was making elderberry juice, and I was taking it once a day. Never had an allergy issue, never had a runny nose, any kind of issues at all.
While using it?
While using it.
Nice.
I run out on Sunday.
Oh, man.
Monday morning, I wake up, nose clogged running. This morning, same issue, but it was even worse than yesterday. Is elderberry juice the thing that I need to be taking every single morning in order to combat some of those things?
Yeah.
If it's working.
I mean, if it's working, why not, do more of it? I would tell you that, in my office, I use a product called Kids Cold that has echinacea and elderberry in it as a nice mixture, and it's called Kid Cold. And what it's designed to do is elderberry is a really powerful immunological herb. A lot of people use it just for fevers and colds and stuff. But if you're getting a benefit from it in the sinus allergy department, knowing your history, that would be an absolute avenue you want to go down, because herbs become you associate with certain herbs just like you associate with certain people. You're going to find that this herb, every time I take it, gives me this effect, and that's a really powerful thing to work with. And I find that a lot of people that I work with and people that I talk to, we have a fear of what we don't know, fear of the unknown. You've heard of that. And so one of the reasons I'm so confident with all these products is because I take them regularly. Like, I've studied them, and I have not just studied them from a theorized, perspective out of a book. Oh, this is what it should do. I've taken everything, even the quote unquote products that are designed for women, I've eaten them up to see if they do have any effect on me, because I am the first guinea pig. I am the first scientist that wants to make sure that anything that I give is safe and effective. And what we know is that elderberry has amazing immunological properties. So totally, get it in.
I just saw that somebody actually just picked me up some elderberries.
Nice
Juice.
Are
So
they bringing
that.
Are they going to bring it to you today?
I hope so. I
I have
might
a
need
question about that, because you hear medication, like over-the-counter stuff. They say antibiotics, like if you keep taking these, your body is going to become immune to it. Is it possible to become immune to these herbal supplements and elderberry juice and other
It's
things?
a great question. So whenever you have chemicals that your body's taking in, have you ever heard of people build up a tolerance?
Yeah.
That's what it is when you're taking chemical substances.
Okay.
So whether it's alcohol, whether it's nicotine, that's why they need more of that stuff. And the same goes with medications. And I always tell patients that do a lot of antibiotics. We had a patient come in yesterday and said, I just want to know that I can take antibiotics and still be healthy. And I'm like, well, I can't really tell you that, because they only have a lifespan. Like, you only have like 9 lives of a cat. They only work so many times and they stop working. Their effective rate goes down, because the bugs that your body has is evolving to that antibiotic. Even your good bacteria. I mean, everything is when a war strikes, defenses and strategies to prevent that from happening again come into place, and they're an evolving organism as well. And we all have a bacterial ecology, good and bad. We have good bad bacteria, good bad yeast, and they're in constant battle of suppression and who's going to win. Well, we obviously want the good guys. So when you're taking herbs, because herbs are not chemicals and they're naturally occurring in the right therapeutic doses, you can get amazing therapeutic properties. Like garlic, for example, it kills 7 out of 10 different types of bacterial strains, and I think it was I think 70 different fungi and stuff like that. It's like the most antimicrobial herbal that will always work day in and day out. And I think the older we get, we need stuff like that in our digestive tracts, because what we eat's important, but what we
Don't eat.
eat's more important.
More important.
More important.
Got
something
it.
like that. And so all of a sudden, the gut lining we can increase absorption by making sure that the bacterial and yeast infiltration of the bad guys are always in a suppressed state. Then you get a therapeutic benefit from garlic in arteries. So not just is it good for microbial effects, now it also has a circulatory effect, and it's ongoing forever and ever. Your body will not get a buildup of tolerance, and that's something that you can really count on. And that's why you always want to know the quality of what you're taking. So we use companies that are reputable, companies that have set the gold standard across the U.S. and across the country or the world on how herbs are going to be processed and developed so that we can always count on them. So if it says garlic in this quantity on the label, or if it says echinacea and it's this part of the echinacea plant, that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that's what you're getting. And so, and we always, not to say that you can't get good quality elsewhere, but from a standardized perspective, I mean, you don't always know where you're getting what you're getting, and it's important. And that's why we always want people to know Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center has the best. We have a very high-end quality line of products that we can pull from. And the nice thing is these companies aren't motivated by money. They're motivated by quality, because if the product doesn't do what it's supposed to do, guess who doesn't buy it?
Nobody buys it.
Nobody buys it, and the clinician typically doesn't buy it.
Yeah.
So they first make a product that you can count on continuously over and over, because a lot of this too is teaching individuals, like, Curt's got his immune challenge that he's going through, and he's going to evolve through it and past it, especially over time as he becomes a better patient. And the same goes with all the people that walk through the door. It just takes time to learn your chemistry, your own chemistry, appreciate how your body is communicating to you, and then allowing us to give you tools and direction on, hey, when you feel this, do this. Hey, when you feel this, do that. And it's not a pill for an ill. It's listening to the symptom patterns that your body is giving you, like check engine lights. And these check engine lights, when addressed appropriately, you can count on herbs to continuously, over and over and over again, give you a good result.
Okay, here's some other questions that we have. This one is from Sandy, and I'm going to ask this one first because you said sometimes you are the first guinea pig. You take the supplements that are even for ladies. So Sandy asks, are most of your supplements and dietary recommendations supported for breastfeeding mothers?
Absolutely. We have a huge array of kids and breastfeeding moms coming into our office. I actually pride myself, and I can't technically say that I have the best prenatal program ever, but I really think that we have an amazing prenatal program that doesn't allow any cracks to be in the quote-unquote prenatal foundation and the postnatal foundation of care, because we're addressing vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids. We're making sure that we're not detoxing you through your breastfeeding years. I've got a lady that's been a patient now for, I'm going to say 5 years, maybe 6. I'm thinking maybe 6. And she has been breastfeeding since 2012. And she was just telling me just last Friday how excited she was, that she just has a place that she can go that knows and understands her chemistry and understands what her body needs in order to keep, this the health for herself and the health of her kids in check.
Okay, and then here is another one, and it has to do with kids as well. This is from Angie Butler. She said the pros and cons of raw milk. This seems to be the only milk my son can drink without side effects.
So the pros and cons of raw milk is, if your kid can do raw milk and not have a side effect that you can see, I would be wanting to ask other questions to find out, well, maybe you're just not recognizing some of the other symptoms. But I do have a few patients that can do goat milk, and they don't seem to have any they don't have any rashes, they don't have any drainage, they don't have any sleep issues, they don't have any temperament issues, they don't have any change in blood pressure, they don't have anything that we can physiologically see as a problem, and so we allow them to do it, and so raw is always better. I mean, in today's world, if you buy anything from a grocery store, it is pasteurized and homogenized, and the minute I said those words, it's junk for you. You don't need it. Because the whole process of that is to make it harmonious or look the same throughout. And so you lose the quality of fats. You denature the fats. You denature the proteins. So the proteins in the milk don't have an effect on your body like they would in a raw state. So, give us a thumbs up if you've ever tried raw milk and what your effect was, And here's one of the things that I would tell you is that raw is always better. Like we put hormones and steroids into these cows today to overproduce, and then we have to process their product down to something that the world can tolerate in a sanitary state, because Elsie was never designed to produce the amount of milk that she's producing today. So a raw system is more better because if it's too hot and she's not producing, or if she's unhealthy and not producing good quality milk, you'll know, and it'll be fresh right out of the udder.
It's 9:02 a.m. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11 a.m. We have Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio. He's answering questions that you've been asking through Facebook, questions that you can text us and ask 346-704-1806. Curt, did you see this question from Lori?
I did.
You want to ask it?
Yeah. So it was kind of funny because I had a similar situation take place.
It's kitty cat related.
I did some cleaning on Sunday. I mean, I did a deep clean on Sunday, and I was sitting there cleaning all the dust off that I hadn't done in like 6 months.
Dustin.
And just started to just sneeze and sniffle, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is nuts. So she said, freak accident happened, house full of cat litter dust, literal cloud of dust everywhere on Sunday. I have respiratory issues and have a dry cough. Should I be concerned?
I like that she prefaced it weird question. First of all, with Dr. Chapa, I mean, there may be some weird questions, but I feel like he's been asked everything.
Even better, freak accident. I want to know what happened. Like you accidentally
just walking with the box and you slip on something.
That's exactly what happened. Probably it was just one of these things where, and then you look around and you go,
"There is a cloud."
And it's like, so I had this exact thing come in yesterday, but it wasn't kitty litter. It was a lady in December was at a friend's house, and they were having a bonfire, and they threw pretty much everything in the kitchen sink on the bonfire. Motor oil, they had plastic, they had fabrics, they had chairs, plastics, and she's had a nasty cough since December. And I'm like, why didn't you come? Why didn't you let me know back then when the cough came on? And she goes, well, I didn't really know if you knew how to handle this kind of stuff, And I'm really glad this question came up, because if it's a symptom that you're having, Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center can help you. We can give you ideas. We can give you support. We can give you understanding on why that was happening to your body. That's what I do. This is and what my office stands for, is helping you get to the bottom of root symptoms that you're dealing with. So should you be concerned? You should be concerned in the fact that you got exposed to ammonia from the kitty litter. I mean, hopefully you're lucky enough that it was clean. I hate to think that you had the.
We have clarification.
Here's what happened.
She said it was a shop vac. Her husband vacuumed, but had it set for water, so dust blew out instead of in.
Oh, well, okay. So it's truly just, but it's still. So as they were cleaning it, and now we're dealing with. So there is ammonia and smell. And then you got just the dust of the particles. And so what we need to do is a cleanse on the lungs. So we use something called pneumotrophin PMG, which will actually clean and heal any tissue damage in the lungs. Now, if this just happened this weekend, we could just do something like Allerplex. It's supportive of a non-infectious allergy, and it allows the liver to process, the lymphatics to process, the lungs to process whatever they've been exposed to as particulate matter. So, if you look at the particulate matter in our environment today, it might be 100 on a 500 scale, and so they would call it mild. And so you just got a more of a severe exposure to particulate matter, and it might take you a bottle or two or a month of cleansing, depending on how effective you were at getting it handled and cleaned up. To get it to process through the body. But our bodies are able to process these types of things. That's why we shouldn't be so sensitive to the environment. But when you are, Curt, we know that the liver is challenged, not because of the kitty litter, but from the lifestyle that has clogged up the liver's ducts.
I'm a little concerned because Lori said, please don't tell anyone. So
it's already
Sorry.
So we'll make sure we don't tell anybody about the situation. Accidents happen.
But the reality is look, accidents happen, and this is the stuff that happens. Like really, the whole fire that happened a month and a half ago. That fire wasn't intended to poison Houston, but it did, right? And so we need to talk about this stuff so that Lori, we can all learn from your story. And so if I was in your boat, I would be reaching to, I have a product in my office called Dehist. It's an antihistamine, but it's a healthy alternative to like what a drug would do in the body. I'd be reaching to Allerplex because Allerplex would flush my lymph, my liver, my kidneys, and my lungs to allow those exit channels to be able to process more effectively the particulate matter that I'm exposed to. And having these tools makes you go, oh, I feel so much better knowing that I'm not, going to have this dry cough forever. You would take it till the dry cough goes away, maybe get a HEPA filter, put it in the vicinity of where all that particulate matter was put in, especially if it's close to your bedroom, because you don't want to be sucking in, those particulates while you're sleeping for 8 hours, and then lying parallel where your body is not able to move it around and deal with it as effectively, as it would during the day when you're up and about. Make sure that you're drinking plenty of good quality water, 32 ounces of water per 50 pounds of body weight. Make sure that you're, going for a walk every day and getting some fresh air. Open up the windows in your house. Allow the outside air. Right now it's been windy, so let that outside air blow through the house and clean out the ducts. Change out your air filters, your normal ones. I mean, so there's so many little things that you could do to start cleaning up the environment and then clean up your own environment. And that's why I give you some of these, educational tools. So, yeah, give us a like if you like that answer. That was awesome.
If you're watching on Facebook, share this video out. If you're listening on 99.5 FM or KHEAradio.com, text a friend, call a friend, tell them to tune in. We're about to drop our app, I think this week, which we're really excited about.
We have a KHEA Radio app?
It's
we got approved yesterday.
Oh, it's like mode.
We have some
hit the fire button and it's going to be
and it's good. We got some more graphics that we need to update and everything else, and it should be good to go.
Here's a question from Karen. Curt, do you want to ask that?
Sure, I can. It says, okay, I found that my back, neck, and knees are a lot more delicate and prone to injury than 1P to 15 years ago.
Maybe I should ask this question.
What's 1P?
Hey, start over because I'm lost. What's going on?
Okay, so she's having back, neck, and knees, and that they're more delicate and prone to injuries than 1 to 15 years ago. What sort of easy exercise is good to strengthen these areas?
Okay,
yoga?
So you could do simply, like, yes, yoga would be fine, right? But just make sure that you don't take your body beyond your structural current limitations. You want to ease into all protocols and programs. But sometimes, I had a lady yesterday that was saying, every time the PT does this, that, and the other, it hurts me, makes me feel worse. And I'm like, well, then let's back it down a degree. So we always go easy +1, right? So you do easy for a couple weeks, and then you go +1. You add a little bit, another degree of challenge. And so what if you just did simple joint mobility exercises? So you're sitting in your chair, and then you pick up one leg off the floor, and you make counterclockwise and clockwise rotations of your knee. That stretches the ligaments. The synovial capsules get stimulation. They get hydrated, and that creates a health benefit for your knee. What if we call that, doing your laundry or washing the dishes of your body, right? As a metaphor. You don't want to eat off of dirty plates, right? So instead of doing weight bearing or hardcore or some sort of structured plan, just go through and mobilize the joints in your body. Move and do the ABCs with your ankle. Put tension and stretch the toes back and get mobility into the toes, because we don't move our toes enough, and that's why people have cold hands, cold feet. Because we're not moving our joints individually enough. We just go through the day and we're just stagnant, and we don't realize, we've all seen the elderly people that are starting to hunch forward and their head comes down. They have an anterior head carriage. Their thoracic kyphosis evolves so broad. You're like, wow, they're like, humpback. And you feel bad for them. But what caused that? It's a lack of joint mobility. They didn't stretch like Curt's demonstrating so eloquently. They're not doing joint mobility day in and day out, because it's one of those mundane things. We expect in this society to do what? If no pain, no gain. That's the rule, right? But that's not always true. What if it's just, hey, I'm going to maintain good quality joint mobilization, because the joints get hydrated through mobilization. So yes, you're getting mobilization when you exercise, but what if you took individual non-weight bearing and you worked all aspects of your joints, your wrists, your fingers, your elbows, your shoulders, all aspects of the neck in all planes, forward, back, side, lateral flex, rotations. And you do all these things. And you can just Google these on YouTube. I like Scott Sonnen's work. He's a world martial artist and champion martial artist, and has trained, CIA from all across the country and police forces all across the country, and has workout protocols. And his whole thing is about, this joint mobility is a key. Nikolai Amosov, a 95-year-old cardiologist, that said that it is the key, joint mobility, to longevity, is staying agile. And so with knee pains and things like that, remember the body stores toxins, and a toxin by definition is just anything your body cannot use, okay? And so it stores toxins in the brain, in fat cells, and in joints. So if you have arthritis, or what I like to call arthrongus. Thank you, Gardy. So excited because there's nothing right about it. That's right. And if you have this, then we know that the liver can be cleansed. We know that the lymphatics need to be decongested. We know that the kidneys need to be flushed. We need to make sure that the bowels are moving eloquently 2 or 3 times a day, so that you know that you're not holding on to this excess trash and debris, and your body won't store it. And that way, when you walk into a room, you don't go, honey, where's my such and such? You go, man, I'm so glad I got a good, sharp memory. I'm so glad that I'm 95 years old, fully functional in spirit, mind, and body. I'm so excited that I get to choose life one bite at a time, one day at a time, because you integrated all these like little life principles that make us whole and complete.
Kind of along the same lines, I see Gina here ask the same question. How long does a sprain on the wrist last?
Ooh. And
what are some exercises to help strengthen it?
Yeah, thank you for asking. If anybody's had any type of sprains in the ligaments, hit the thumbs up button, because it can be a long process. Unfortunately, it can be 8 to 10 weeks at a minor. It could be 6 months at a major injury capacity. So I don't know the full aspect of what you're dealing with there. But here's what I could tell you is you could totally do. You could totally come in and let us do manipulation of those ligamentous tissues, and that will speed it up and bring blood flow. We would come in and we would use things like cod liver oil. We use things like Ligaplex products to help strengthen. It's a high-dose manganese product that strengthens ligaments, tendons, and muscles, and makes all those tissues work more effectively. And we're breathing nutrition out into the joints while we're teaching you joint mobility. Make sure that you're drinking water every day, plenty of it, 32 ounces per 50 pounds of body weight. And make sure that you're getting. I mean, really, this is where joint mobility, getting a chiropractic adjustment, is just a really powerful tool. Dr. Amber and I love giving adjustments to patients, because people don't realize that if the dude don't move,
the dude don't groove.
Oh, you guys are awesome today. I
did wake up. Oh, well, actually, it happened before I went to bed last night. I think I actually strained my back, my lower back, picking something up yesterday. So
281-554-8600.
That's what you need to call.
You got to get us. We can fix that.
I'm curious if anybody else out there started doing the alphabet with their ankles whenever Dr. Chapa.
I was over here doing it myself. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was doing it both at the same time. I was trying to go forwards with
I don't know anything else after that.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise us.
Keeps going.
It keeps going.
So it's 9:14. This is KHEA Radio.com, 99.5 FM. We have Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio. Right now we're talking about some joints, some mobility exercises. How do you keep your body mobile?
Agile and mobile. Mm-hmm. And it simply comes down to just, hey, what are you doing right now in your car? Are you slumped over? Are you at your computer desk kind of hunched forward? Hey, pull your shoulders back. Pull them down. Don't let them rise up around your ears. Feel that curve come into your low back, and get your posture right, and focus on, oh, cool. I can just do lateral flex exercises in my chair.
Hey, have you ever seen those Facebook advertisements for this thing that holds your shoulders back?
Yeah.
Would that work?
I mean, theoretically, it would work, because it's holding you in a posture, and it's not letting you. It's like a brace, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that it also engages you every time you go forward. You're actually getting a check to say, no, pull them back.
Yeah.
That's what the thing's designed to do, which ultimately would theoretically work. I haven't used one yet. Maybe I should get one and play with it, and
Guinea
see
pig.
and be the guinea pig, and I can give you better insight. But I mean, ideally, anything that reminds you to sit up tall and be proud. And think about too, when you're reading a book, when you're at your desk, use your eyes to look down. Don't curve your neck forward, because when your head is tilted forward too far, it increases disc pressure 300% on the back of the spine.
Gardy, you need to adjust your camera now that you're not
If I
slumped
sit up-
over.
Nobody can see just
My
your
neck
mouth
too
now.
long. I'm like up here. I'm like, what?
So,
See?
but go ahead.
I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? For me, this is my posture when I'm on the radio. I have to lean in order to look around the arm. So like in 10 years, after doing this for 10 years, this is what I'm gonna look like. I'm gonna be walking like this,
But really going straight, but you're going to look into the right.
to the right.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's why I try. Nikolai Amosov said, he said it's joint mobility is so easy, but nobody will do it because it's so easy, because it's not the no pain, no gain theory. And we see all of our, big hardcore gyms today promoting hardcore exercising, but we don't do enough in the realm of gentle mobilization.
Yeah.
And we think, oh, that's for the old people. And I'm like, give me a break. I
Sit
mean,
and
you need
be
to sit and be fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is we need to get past that, that ego of thinking. And even Scott Sundin says some of the exercises look really silly, but when you don't have back pain and everybody else is developing back pain because they didn't do the right maintenance for the workouts they were doing, because they're not teaching this. And yeah, so in some respects, sit and be fit is a very powerful tool in your arsenal of wellness from a physiological or biochemical or biomechanical state of being. And so everything matters. Like how much water do you drink today? Did you eat breakfast today? Did you wake up and put good information in your head, or did you wake up putting, junk in your head, whatever it is that because we are a product of who we associate with, the books and CDs that we're listening to, or the radio that we're listening to, and we have to be in the books we read. So we got to make sure that we're putting in good fuel to make sure that we're building the life that we want. That means you have to have a vision of what you want your life to look like after you've done built it. And so for me, I come from a family that has weight issues and heart disease issues. My father died of a heart attack at 53 years old. So if I follow the same recipe that my father lived, odds are what's going to happen? I'm going to get the same. Well, what if I learn how to control stress better? What if I learn how to get better sleep and make sure that I'm getting my 8 hours of sleep a night, and not interrupted sleep, but continuous? And again, guys, give us a little thumbs up if you struggle with sleep. If you're not sleeping through the night, you're not healing. If you're not getting good sleep, your liver's not detoxing well and getting rid of all the stuff that we build up byproducts wise throughout our day. And so these are all the reasons why we want you to make an appointment and be a part of our office and part of our tribe, because we had just an amazing class, the allergy talk last Thursday. And for those that missed it, I'm really sorry you did. We had just an outstanding turnout. We had just an outstanding group of people.
Is there another one?
And yeah, every month we do classes. So
okay.
We have it. I think I'll have Ashley post on here later what it is. So we do a class a month, and it's always on different topics. But if you are out there and you do struggle with symptom patterns that you were not genetically born with, Jennifer and myself and Dr. Amber are here to help you guys work through those challenges. So give us a call, 281-554-8600, and let us help you. Let us hear your story so that we can better assist you in knowing which direction to take you, biochemically, structurally, however it is, because everybody starts where they start. I mean, I took
at the cellular level. Oh, wait.
Wait, all life starts at the cellular level.
I thought you said one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. You're so close, so close. I'll get you that one. I'll get you that one in a second. But I had a guy come in one time, and he was a big burly dude, tough farm boy, and didn't talk, had dip snuff, like his lip kind of puckered out, but there wasn't even no dip in there. It's like his lip engraved a pocket there from all the dip he did. He's even had the little dip, can of Skull tattooed in his pants, even though there was no can there. I mean, and he's just that guy, right? You wouldn't think of ever being healthy, and he was stiff as a board. I mean, I remember, pulling his shoe off and thinking, I wish I wouldn't have done that, because it blasted me back like, whoa. I don't think they power washed his feet in a long time, and inside of 6 months.
Why are you looking at me?
Well,
I mean, because there's it's stench arising.
when he talked about the burly guy, I was like, no,
That's
no,
not Curt.
everything, and then all of a sudden it was like the feet,
stinky
and I was like,
feet.
oh,
yeah, Curt all day long. No, so at 6 months into working with this guy was into yoga. He was eating better. He was more, he was more active than he had ever been. His, dipping habit went from, like a can and a half or something, down to hardly any. But he still did, but not near like he did. And I mean, all the lifestyle things that this guy started making, and he came in not as a biochemical patient. He came in as a structural patient, and we evolved him from where he was. And that's the whole thing, is wherever you're at in your health and wellness journey, we're going to just pick up and we're going to learn what you need, and give you what you want, packaged up into what your body needs, and we're going to help you make those educated decisions to move forward in wellness, because wellness is supportive care. That is the longevity state of allowing your body to feel great, live great, age gracefully, and not, slip off into the land of accelerated aging.
Mm-hmm. Right now it is 9:22. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. Share this video out. If you're watching on Facebook, feel free to keep asking questions, even if you've already asked one. This is what this time is for. You can have your voice be heard and get these questions asked, and we'll get them answered. We have that app coming in. Can we talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, so we are building an app. It is It's app that you're going to be able to listen to KHEA radio 24/7 today. It's got its own player in there. It's going to have a community calendar.
You know what else we should add? And I just thought about this.
Okay.
We should add like an appetizer section. We do a lot of stuff with restaurants, and if we had on the app, there's an appetizer button where you're able to like do something with restaurants where you can get like a free appetizer. I feel like people would download it for that. I also had another idea this morning for giveaways through the app, but I can't share it just now. Just know you need to, like, as soon as we say, hey, the app is live, you need to download the app because it's going to be really huge. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to be able to watch us live inside of the app. So if Facebook ever shuts down, goes away.
Which is possible.
Chance.
Not today, Zerg, but maybe later.
Maybe one day you'll be able to still stay up to date on all of the things that are happening through KHEA radio. We might even do giveaways straight from the app.
That's my hope.
That you don't even have to use Facebook anymore. You do the app.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be easy. So, yeah, be on the lookout. Stay tuned. This is KHEA. We have Dr. Aaron Chapa in studio. He's in studio every Tuesday. So if this is your first time or your millionth time to watch KHEA with Dr. Chapa, thank you for coming back. We appreciate you making the time, and we want to invest in you. And if you share this video out, I guarantee you, I promise there are people on your friends list who will be able to benefit from the information we talk about on Tuesdays. Not only just Tuesday, but every day, actually.
And the final thing that I'm really super excited about the app for is if you are a business owner or you have an organization, you'll be able to be featured inside of the app. So there's an actual button or a banner, if you want to call it, where we can actually put your graphics, your information. You'll be able to hit that banner and it will jump right to either your Facebook page or your website, or maybe even give you a phone call if they click on it. So there's some really cool ways that we can partner with you and help promote local community and positivity in our communities.
You excited for the app, Dr. Chapa?
I can't wait. I'm going to be downloading it as soon as it pops out on my docket to do so.
Boom. So it should be,
it'll be
hopefully this week.
It'll be Dr. Chapa approved.
the app is Chapa approved.
So, yeah. So I just put a little update. So Lori had asked, for the joint mobility, Scott's son, and again, he is he's a young middle-aged guy, and so some people think that it wouldn't be valuable, but some of the things he's teaching is just absolutely amazing on joint mobility. So I hope that helps you, Lori. And
what's a young middle-aged guy?
I think like 39 to 50.
Okay.
Maybe 50.
That's
maybe
a young
55.
man. That's a young man.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just messing with you. I know.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, it's a young man. I'm 39. So they say centenarians, people that live to be over 100 years old have 3 things in common. Do you know what those are?
What's that?
So it is they all have something to live for, which means they have future-paced vision of what they want their lives to look like, towards the end of their life, or what they want to accomplish. They have always something set before them, and they're real careful not to get themselves, in an identity crisis with a particular job or a particular lifestyle. They have vision of what they're after, and they're always working on setting new goals and setting new, things for their life, something to live for. The second thing they have in common is they have no medications that they're taking. That means they've gone through the process of finding alternatives to drugs and surgery, and they've avoided it like the plague. Mm-hmm. And thirdly, they had no issues with their teeth. Very interesting, right? So I looked up this idea. Are we about to do some exercises?
Oh no, I'm just switching away from the camera, so I'm going to sit back in my chair.
Oh, so the no issues with their teeth. I looked into this, and the no issues with their teeth was that they had either no teeth or they truly had virgin teeth. So I mean, the teeth are a big deal with respect to longevity and vitality. But we always knew that because every horse trade, they always look at the teeth,
mm-hmm.
and the teeth tell the story of vitality, the width of that jawline, the number of teeth, if they're rotten or not, and that all tells the health of the animal. And so the teeth are also a vital piece of wellness and well-being. And so when people come into our office and we help them understand that, hey, look, you're 65, you're 75. And they're tired, not feeling good, we can still give them hope because centenarians say they feel their best between 65 and 95. So who doesn't want? Give me a thumbs up if you want to feel your best between 65 and 95. Yes, please.
I do.
Quite a few myself. Yeah.
Give 2 thumbs up and a social media thumbs up.
That's right. Social media thumbs up, please. Because here's the reality. This is what choosing life today starts with. It's when's the best time to plant an oak tree, Kurt?
Early in the morning.
I know.
Go ahead.
30 years ago.
30 years ago. When's the next best time, Kurt?
Early in the morning.
That would be better. Today, early in the morning. Right now. Let's go outside. Let's plant that tree. And so your wellness tree of life, so to speak, starts today. So what are you doing? And so even put us make a comment. Tell me something that you're doing today, this week, that is healthy and moving your health forward to living your best centenarian life. That's a life over 100 years old.
I'm excited to hear that. I'm excited.
In spirit, mind, and body. Yeah, we want to see it. I am really curious to know what you guys have to teach us this morning about tools that you're integrating and learning to take care of your bodies better.
My son, he lost his other front tooth this morning. So he actually lost 3 teeth in the last month and a half or so. So he's missing one down here, and he had lost his one front tooth, and then the other one had been hanging on. So he lost it this morning. He was pretty excited.
Did he pull it out himself?
Well, he had been moving it forward and back, and it was hanging on by a thread last night. And we're like, Kellen, you got to just twist a little bit. He was like, no, I'm good. So we'd brush that one little tooth at night hanging on by a thread, just all right, we're going to get it. But this morning, he woke up so excited, coming down the stairs of the house, being like, it came out. My tooth came out.
Can we not talk about this? Because I might faint and pass out.
Are you really that sensitive to blood?
Oh, I'm sensitive to anything like needles.
What? Man, we dissected a rat last week when I left the show. I got to go dissect a rat. I got to dissect a cow eyeball. I got to dissect a sheep's heart.
Hey, speaking of needles,
it was awesome.
We're going to have Dr. Deb in. And Kurt has been messaging her, begging her not to bring needles. But I'm like, please bring needles because I would love to try that. I want to try it.
Do it. Well,
you're going to do it?
Yeah, I'm 100% down to be stuck. Dr. Deb, can you explain what she does and how she operates?
She's got an acupuncture clinic, and basically she stimulates meridians in the body using needles. So I use structural alignment, laser therapy. We use percussion and arthrostim to stimulate acupuncture meridians in the body to make them function better. She uses needles and allows your body to rest for 20, 30 minutes. And when she takes a person through that, she makes the liver work better, or the gallbladder work better, or the adrenals work better. And so by going through the process of allowing those meridians to work more effectively, then the congestion in the lines, so to speak, is gone. And that's going to improve function of the overall system as a whole. And so that's a really cool way of stimulating the body to perform, and that's what we want.
We were at the Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families monthly meeting the other day, and Dr. Deb, she was one of the speakers there. She was sharing, actually she didn't share a story. It was one of the people who was there at the luncheon got up and was like, hey, I just want to vouch for Dr. Deb. I got my gallbladder removed. I didn't go see Dr. Deb until later, and hey, she helped me through some symptoms. My daughter recently had to get something removed, which, I tried to tell her, hey, there's ways not to do it, but she was really wanting to get that surgery done. So she did, but she said she was back up like in 2 days. Like after
having a surgery,
with the help of Dr. Deb and her clinic and everything. So it was pretty neat.
Yeah. So, and this is the thing that we see is that when there's congestion in the body, wherever it is, if it's in the lymph system, if it's in the blood, if it's in the brain, wherever it is, you're going to have symptom patterns, and those symptom patterns are going to halt your body's ability to heal from a surgery that you have. And so when patients come into my office, we're always looking for ways to decongest and open up the drainage pathways so that the body performs better. And that's where, Living Well shines, is we get on your side to decongest and reconstruct the lines of health and wellness so that you can live all the days of your life functionally. And we use all these modalities are valuable tools. So pick the direction you want and let time in the saddle, so to speak, allow the body to rest, heal, repair itself, regenerate itself, and to become very healthy and strong long term.
So here are some of the ways people are staying healthy, some of the things that they're doing. The first one's from Perry Brooks and 3BQ, who has some of the best barbecue around, I will say that. He said he's starting a 4-day juice cleanse. So I asked him, is it brisket juice? Like, where are you going to be? Because that's what I'd be drinking. Like, give me the drippings from the fat, and I'll swig some of that, and I'm good to go. He said, I wish, but no food, just juice and cashew milk for 4 days. Both him and his wife are going to be going on that journey. So 4 days, cutting out food. What is that going to do for them?
So, they've done so many documentaries around fasting and juicing and juice feasting, and I've done it myself. And, he could literally turn his whole health around. I watched a guy do a 7-day water fast with chronic rheumatoid arthritis, and in 7 days had no pain in his back. And so he could have headaches go away. He could have blood pressure regulate, cholesterol start to balance out. He could start seeing more energy, more vitality. His skin, hair, nails will start being more effective. If he doesn't have hair, it'll start growing back. Just kidding. And but
wow.
That'd be pretty cool. And everybody's like, "Whoa, I want it. I'm in."
Yeah. Billion dollar idea.
But the reality is when you give your digestive tract a break, when you give the digestive tract a break from the diseases that are manifesting and accumulating in our body via digestion. So you're giving digestion a break. It's like taking your digestive tract on a vacation. You're allowing it to rest and heal, and your skin is a mirror image of your digestive tract. And so the healthier the digestive tract is, or the less inflamed it is, the less the body's inflamed. So this is a really nice way of decreasing overall bodily inflammation. So joint pain, symptom patterns like headaches or body odor, sweating excessively, staining your undershirts, because this stuff happens. These are all toxins coming out of your pores when this happens and goes on. And so he could see a numerous amount of effect. And yes, in just 4 days, if that's their first go at this. And then I would say, hey, come over to our office and let us take you through a gallbladder flush. Hey, come over to our office. Let us take you through a 10-day blood sugar detox. Hey, come over to the office. Let us teach you how to do a 21-day liver flush. And all of a sudden, you start seeing how you can cleanse out every system in the body and make the systems of your body perform better. And when the systems of your body perform better, you're only as old as or as young as your oldest part. So if we can make all your parts more youthful and more vibrant, then you yourself globally as a whole will be more youthful and vibrant and playful and handling stress better. And that'll be another thing he'll probably notice too, because he's a business owner. There's a fair amount of stresses that come at us just because we're business owners, and I think one of the things that him and his wife will both see, and I don't even know these guys, but I'm just forecasting for them, is they'll start noticing that they process stress better. They can tolerate things that were at 4 days ago were getting on their nerves very easily, short fused to a longer fuse, and it's pretty powerful.
Kurt,
settle down, Kurt. Settle
Kurt,
down.
are you okay? Speaking of detoxing and cleansing,
I think he's ready.
I remember last week you were talking about how you're starting your cleanse and your detox, or whichever one it was. Remember? Do you remember this, Dr. Chapa?
But every week it's the tomorrow cleanse.
The best part, he was like, I didn't tell Gardy this, but like I started this 4 days. I was like, dude, we were talking before we went on air, and you were saying, hey, I'm starting it today or something. And I was like, which one is it? I can't take this anymore. So how's it been going? It's been going good,
nice thing? Okay, it lasted a day. It lasted until like that night when I was like super hungry and I decided to do peanut butter on a toasted bread. But
okay,
I did. Last week I only had one bang. Friday was the only day I had bang. Today was the next day that I had bang. So I've cut and limited the amount of bang in my life.
Did you increase the amount of water that you put into your life?
He just
He's
supplemented.
Still dehydrated. He's still like minerally deprived.
He added more coffee
and
had less bang, which may be a better option. Coffee, just coffee without the sugar and milk. I don't know. Here's some other things people have been doing. We saw drinking 120 ounces of water consistently every day for months. We saw less processed food with more walking, which is amazing.
Go, Lori.
Mm-hmm. And here's a question that Mrs. Meyerhoff asked. She said, what about supplements for a broken bone in an athlete?
Oh, please. Definitely shoot over the office or make an appointment. Come see Jennifer. I think she's in there today. But we use a product called Ostrophin PMG, a strontium product called OsteoVegan SC, and Calcifood Wafers, which is a bone mineral calcium. I brought it into the show before. We call it Scooby Snacks. And so I love them. My kids love them. And a lot of pets love them, actually, just as a side. It is a Scooby snack. But what happens is when you put these raw bone materials in, it allows the body to recognize, this is the blueprint on how to reconstruct the bone. And so the coolest story I have around bone breaks was a real close friend of mine shattered his elbow. I mean, they had to do a level of surgery to repair it and kind of thing. But the healing was in a third of the time. The doctor was baffled because of it was the minerals we put him on. It was the bone products we put him on to help rebuild his tissue. And it's amazing. I mean, the body, guys, wants to heal, and if you give the body tools, it will heal just that much faster. Like, so when people come into my office and they say, I've had this cold for a week, or I've had this illness, flu for 7 days or whatever, I find that in my home, and it's not because of me, it's because of the tools that we have. The tools we have allow us to process infections and process bone breaks or something like this much faster. So when my daughter broke, she had a buccal fracture, which isn't, a true break of bone in half or sorts, but it's a fracture. And he said it would be 6 weeks. She was out of her cast in 3. And it's because we were loading her up with nutrients to help heal those tissues. And so we'd also, recommend cold level laser would also increase bone the healing of those tissues. It decreases inflammation, increases blood flow, and stimulates the mitochondria to perform better, allowing for a faster recovery also from another level of therapeutic. And we offer that at our office, Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center in League City. And so bone breaks are great. And listen, this is a great question because what it helps people realize, and this is what I wanted to get across to the lady yesterday that came in, if you have any symptom pattern, not just like if you go, well, I didn't really think that you knew how to do that, just ask, get our opinion, because we'll tell you if we can't fix it. We'll tell you if we don't have a solution or an idea to help you move forward. I had a lady come in yesterday with an autoimmune disorder that was only 15,000 in the world. She goes, have you ever heard of and rattle off? I'm like, nope, I haven't. What is it? Tell me. So she started talking about it. I said, okay, so we can both agree that this is an autoimmune disorder, right? And she goes, yes, okay, great. So I can help you. Because now I just got to know what are the symptoms that it's manifesting. So for her, it was like ulcerations of the skin. And so basically think of like having a giant pit of wound on your skin, but it's like bubbling up from the inside. It's like really painful and discomforting and scary, to go through. But that's the body withering away. And from an autoimmune perspective, that autoimmunity didn't start a year ago. It started 5 years ago. And so if you've been diagnosed with something as severe as an autoimmune disorder or some sort of an inflammatory disorder, It didn't just come on suddenly. It came on 5 years ago, and there was symptom patterns that were overlooked or mistreated that didn't get handled and get you directed on a better path. And then all of a sudden, one symptom led to a syndrome of symptoms. And a syndrome of symptoms is just accumulated symptom patterns that now we bunch up into a disease process called autoimmunity. And so we've got autoimmune thyroids running around. We got autoimmune joint disorders running around, whether it's rheumatoid or osteoarthritis or spondylolistheses types of things going on. Or you've got digestive autoimmunity like Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. And so it's ongoing. Like there's bloodborne versions of it. And so if you're dealing with symptom patterns of any kind, these are all the telltale check engine lights that you need an evaluation at our office, and we can help you move your case forward. And I even told this gal yesterday, I said, even if I'm wrong, I'm going to get you further down the road than you are right now because I'm feeding you. At the fundamental level, what we do at our office is we feed the tissues, and the tissues just need to be fed. You need to be on a multivitamin, a good quality one. So we need food-based products, not synthesized synthetic products. You need essential fatty acids, the things that come from what we call reesterified triglycerides that are that are not processed very highly, and they're not heat treated, and they're not beat up and tinkered with to a point where they're denatured in your body. There's certain systems like your liver and kidneys, your exit channels that need to be flushed, your bowels that need to be cleansed, and to improve the absorption rate of the surface area in your body. And when you start thinking of your body in a systematic way, like I'm teaching my patients, all of a sudden you start realizing, oh, wait a second, it sounds like what you're saying, Dr. Chop, is I'm in control of my health. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. Yes, you've got an MTFHR issue. I got it. But that doesn't, it's not like it's a new thing. It's been around 100 years too. It's just now we got cool tests to show it. And so it's not like MTFHR is just a new fandango thing. It's biochemistry. And we can go in and support MTFHR patients and help them move through, their genetic quote unquote breakdown and make their body perform a little better. And so the whole idea is just understanding what is your body telling you symptom-wise, so that we can help you move forward so that you can live better, be better, and stay better one bite at a time. And it always starts, food or life always starts at the cellular level.
And stops at the...
I turned you off because you were sniffing over there.
Oh, see.
You're back on. You're back on.
I pitched you one. So, all right, let's try it again. So all life starts and stops at the cellular level and...
I only know the cellular level part. And begins
nutrition is the fundamental backbone that allows your body to spiral out of control or get traction and take off into your your dream.
I would have never gotten that. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well,
here's a question from Sandy.
We do try, Kurt, to keep you included in KHEA Radio.
Sandy says, I know there are lots of options out there. This gets overwhelming for me. What are your favorite go-to breakfast foods? I'm a busy breastfeeding homeschooling mom of 4. First of all, props to you. And my typical breakfast is cereal. Then she did the face palm emoji. I love smoothies, eggs, and bacon, etc. I don't take time or make an effort to eat anything but cereal or pre-made vegan chocolate chip muffins. Sounds good. That I know are loaded with sugar. I need easy, quick, and healthy, please.
Yeah, so, I mean, the simplest, right, is boil some eggs and put them in an Instapot. Go drink your coffee, go get your face ready, and you'll come back to your Instapot and you'll have perfectly made eggs in 3 minutes. And I mean, I don't know how to make it even any easier than that. You put 5 eggs, 6 eggs, a dozen eggs in an Instapot, set the thing for 3 minutes, and then you come back to it in 15 or 20 whenever you get back around to it. Guess what? You got the incredible edible egg, protein, carb, and
balanced.
fat, balanced. Boom, shakalaka.
Right on your hand. Hey, Sandy also said I'm dropping off my new patient paperwork this week.
Oh,
so
Sandy,
see you soon.
I'm so excited. That'd be awesome. I hope you could see Jennifer or Dr. Amber or myself. Who knows? And but I will definitely be looking for you. But here's the thing. So you could also make bacon make a pack of bacon on Sundays. Put it in the oven and cook it for 15, 20 minutes or to the chewy level, the crisp level that you're comfortable with, and throw it in a bag and leave it in your refrigerator. Now you've always got a good, healthy, snack that you can reach for. That's salty, that's chewy, that's salty, and who doesn't love bacon for a snack?
That's the input that we get from this.
Yeah, it's okay. It's the peanut gallery. The peanut gallery. And then so also pick you some good sausages to have available, and what that encompasses all your protein foods. Now, if you're reaching to cereal, you need to reach for a grain-free cereal. There's a company I just saw yesterday. I'll find the name of it, but I just saw it yesterday, so I'm not familiar with the name. But I mean, I was really impressed with the label, and it had honey and molasses or something in it as its sweeteners. And yes, it's sugar, but it was grain-free. It was things like flax and chia seeds and nuts as a granola type thing, and it tasted fantastic. You would have loved it. And you put that over almond milk, and now you've got a healthier version of cereal. Let's say that you're taking, I know you're a busy mom, but man, I don't know how old your kids are. We have 4 kids, and I teach my babies to like my 7-year-old can cook her own eggs. My 13-year-old knows how to make. At 10, she was making our steel cut oats recipe, where we take a quarter of a cup of steel cut oats, we put almond milk instead of water because it has more minerals in it, and then we 30 seconds before we take it off the heat, we add an egg, stir it in, and then we put vanilla and cinnamon over the top of it, no sugar, and all of a sudden, my kids are getting a little protein mixed into their oatmeal, and they just think that's the way it's supposed to be done, and so. I know you're busy, but use the fact that you're homeschooling as a home ec class. Teach your kids. The Bible says, teach a man to fish, or give a man a fish. What's better? Teaching the man to fish. So if you teach your family how to use a stove, if you teach them how to incorporate healthy ingredients, like there's this cool protein. It's a paleo powder that we have at our office that tastes literally like nothing. If you mix it in water, it doesn't even stir well. But, I mean, you could get it down, and it's really bland, but it's pure amino acids and goodness. But you can mix the powder in any product, pancake batter that you mix. So when I make gluten-free or grain-free pancakes, I put a scoop of this powder in there, and it's amino acids, and it's in the powder. The kids don't see it. It tastes like nothing. And then I cook them up, and now my kids are getting a little pure, good quality honey or maple syrup, and then they can dip their pancakes that got protein and amino acids in it in this stuff. If they get a cake mix, I'm pouring this stuff in there as well, and I'm giving them extra amino acids that they don't even know are coming. And I am fighting the same battle that you're fighting, which is this sugar onslaught of our day. The Nancy Appleton's book, Lick the Sugar Habits, never been more valuable, even 20 years after she wrote the book, that it's still a value, because people are literally indoctrinated with sugar day in and day out all day long, and we have to say no so much that we almost start feeling bad, or we guilt others into them choosing wellness whenever we can't control our own habits and behaviors. And so it's the fight, guys. We're all in the fight together. So let's say that you had leftovers, like one of my favorite leftovers is when I'm grilling, I do an extra chicken breast or two on the grill if I'm grilling, and that's I'll eat that for breakfast with a salad. You're in a hurry, but your kids will only do what you show them you're doing. There you go, close enough. And what happens is if they follow in your footsteps, what footsteps do you want them to be following? Do you want them to live the fast-paced, don't have time lifestyle where they don't take care of themselves, or are you going to slow down? And I'm not pointing you, but I'm preaching myself. Are we going to slow down? Actually, yeah, somebody give me a thumbs up or a heart that you love this, that we are going to start slowing down enough to take care of ourselves, because are we worth it? And thumbs up if you feel like you're worth taking care of.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
I was waiting for a chant like that.
I could do it. But somebody put a frowny face up there. They're not happy about it.
No, it's probably Kurt.
That's probably Kurt.
He's over there pushing the buttons.
Good. Hey, thanks, Kurt.
I got a question about breakfast. So you were talking about making bacon the night before, which I've done, and it's a great option. Can you do that with scrambled eggs, and that's cool too? Just have it like in a little thing ready to go in the morning.
Like I don't remember that. There was that place that vanished but they used to make like little pre-cooked meals, and they would have breakfast food, lunch foods, dinner foods, and all kinds of other things. And whenever they would put, they had eggs in there. They had eggs, and I think one of the things they had is they were scrambled eggs and like a side of spinach, and I don't remember. It was so long ago. But I mean, I used to make egg scrambles on Sundays, and I would scoop out it'd be spinach and eggs, and I would have those in little containers, and that would be my breakfast in the morning.
Yeah.
And you can either quickly, warm that up on the stove, or you can get in a habit of realizing that food is fuel. If you're truly that busy, get ready to eat cold food and don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Because it's just fuel. We have to break that addiction that our taste buds have to be tickled and fancied, and and that food has to taste amazing. Eat food for fuel, and you will find a lot of times you're reaching for the goodness of nutrition coming into good quality foods, whether hot or cold. Now, people. Even Dr. Deb, tells me that I need to eat warm food, but I don't agree with that. Like, I just think that, like, her and I, battle, and I'm like, I get it, but the reality is I live in a world that is so fast paced, and I'm as guilty as this gal is as being busy and not taking the time. But man, I try to show my kids that it's worth slowing down to eat, even if it's a cold salad, and I'm eating for fuel, not for pleasure.
Curt gets mad. He gets angry. If his food comes out and it is cold, he's not going to eat it. Even if it's his favorite thing in the world, he's going to be kind of cranky about it.
Oh yeah, I want hot food. I don't want cold food.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
But you can do it because it's all a mindset. When you don't mind, it don't matter. It's mind over matter.
Is there something we can do to, like, maybe acupuncture related, or like, I don't know, like brain shocking related, where we can get him to snap out of it?
We could do hypnosis.
Does that stuff work?
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Can we still try it?
We can still try it.
Speaking of things that the church wouldn't like.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a proponent. I don't know. I'm not. It's not really my forte. But the reality is, we're desperate at this point.
We are desperate,
Curt, to get you.
You're getting sleepy. You'll stop sniffing in the mic,
and you'll start eating.
And whenever I snap my fingers, you'll wake up and be a totally different person who stops sniffing in the mic every 3 to 5 seconds. Snap. Oh, the first thing he does.
Oh, he's sniffing more.
Just sniffing.
And there must have been something in what you did. It messed him up.
Dang.
Well, we goofed.
I need that elderberry stuff for sure. Man, is it almost 10 o'clock? How does time fly with Dr. Chapa?
I don't know, but it seems like we just take one step into the Chapa Talk land and it's just over.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd finally get going.
What's the longest you think you could go? Like 8 hours of Chapa Talk?
That would be fun. I could just sit on and talk. We could have like a
Chopathon?
A Chopathon. Yeah, I like that.
What if we just went until we stopped and like people had to give us money to end it?
Stop talking. Quit sharing this video. Play some music. This is 99.5 FM, KHEAradio.com. It's Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11. We have Dr. Chapa in studio every Tuesday, 8:30 to about 10 o'clock, or whenever he has to go. But we enjoy having him in.
Or you'll kick me out.
Either one of those. It's any of those options are a reality.
Well,
yeah.
I will say it's always a pleasure to be on KHEA Radio. It's always a pleasure to joke around and make light of a health of a topic that we all need to be paying attention to. So I would love for everybody to give us a like and a share, a thumbs up, and or a comment. Like, what is it that you like about Chapa Talk and Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center's message every week? Because we want to make this show pertinent to what you're going through and what you need. And we want to help you live the best version of your life. We want you to know that there's hope. We want you to know that there's options, to drugs and surgery, and that if you're finding yourself always doing a Tylenol or Aleve, painkillers, or you've got 5 blood pressure medications instead of 1 that you had, 2 weeks ago, 2 years ago or whatever. Let's start doing something different. And so let us know what you would like the show to evolve to, and this is where your voice will be heard. We'll go back and we'll look through it, and we'll start strategizing to make sure, because I just love sitting over here, sharing the message that food first. Food is medicine, that all life starts and stops at the
cellular level.
And nutrition is the fundamental backbone that allows you to either spiral out of control or to get a grip and move forward towards your dream health, your dream picture of all life, being healthy at the end of our day, like we're fully functional in spirit, mind, and body. And so remember, drink plenty of water today. start every day with breakfast. I know that you might not have time, or you feel like it makes you nauseous, or anything like that. But those are all the check engine lights of why your body needs support, and that's what we want to teach you is why your body's breaking down, and we want to give you tools and resources on how to live a better life, and we want to teach you the value and power of vitamins, minerals, and essential fatty acids. That when you put those things in as a basic building block, you'll have less sick days, you'll be more productive, you'll be more energetic, and then what we'll do is we'll start teaching you, hey, what happens, what do you do whenever your stress gets out of hand? Because we all get into those seasons where we're just like going, and we feel like it's not going to stop. We all have challenges sometimes when it comes to sleep. We all have challenges sometimes, and we can't get through our afternoon without the energy shots or the coffees and the things like this. So if we can give you tools and resources, that's what we do every day at Living Well, and that's what we want to be known for, as a healthy alternative to all drugs and all surgery and prevention of diseases that could have came into your life, but you chose otherwise. And it is, guys, your life, your health, and your choice. So remember, Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center is your partner in health and wellness and vitality, and we want you to know that if you've got symptom patterns you weren't genetically born with, we want you to reach out to us, call us, let us serve you, let us help you, let us teach you the ways of living fully functional all the days of your life. This is Dr. Aaron Chapa. Give us a call, 281-554-8600.
Hey, Lori said, I like that you are listening and answering our questions at a doctor office. Not so much. Again, every Tuesday, Dr. Chapa is in studio starting around 8:30. We stream live on Facebook, where a lot of you are watching, and then we stream on 99.5 FM and KHEAradio.com, where a lot of you are listening as well. This is Kickstart. We're going to be on until 11 a.m. Thank you for hanging out with us today, Dr. Chapa.
Always a pleasure, my man.
Boom!
Chaka-laka.
Boom, Chapa. Chapa,
Chapa,
Chapa.
Chapa.
Oh, we did a song. Think about like
Dude,
an
you're
intro.
a musician, right?
Boom,
You can
Chapa,
totally help.
Taka, Chapa,
You
Taka,
gotta-
Chapa, Taka.
You got to totally make me something.
That's
I
funny.
could do that.
That's awesome.
Boom, Chapa, Taka, and that's like the intro for the the time.
Or even better, boom choppa tacos, choppa tacos.
Boom, Chapa, tacos, Chapa, tacos.
We sit on here. By the way, 3BQ was like, "Hey man, I'll come and visit your office, but I'm gonna bring some brisket for you." And I said,
bring it on.
I said, Perry, you can't do that.
No.
Your brisket will break Dr. Choppa.
No.
Be able
It
to-
would break him, and I said, we need
Why, has
him.
he got MSG
Because I
in
could
it?
just say, I could just see you being like, "Oh my gosh, this is the best thing in the world," and
No,
you're like
I-
sitting there going like,
I-
like foaming at the
I
mouth.
love brisket. Brisket's good.
Really?
Yes. What's wrong with
But
brisket?
we took care of it. We told them we'd take it for you, so
Yeah,
you
we
don't
said
have
we'll
to
don't-
worry
Don't,
about
don't
that.
listen to the boys. They're just trying to steal food from my mouth. Like, I want to sink my teeth into some good brisket.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he
Perry,
does.
Perry, don't.
Perry.
His mic's
Perry.
off. Perry, Perry, just give us the brisket instead.
Coming up next, we're going to be talking about the Page Project.
That's funny. Lori says, slow down.
You got to slow down. Sometimes you just need to slow down.
Page Project 2019. I believe isn't it in Deer Park?
Thomas, that's interesting. Kurt,
ISD?
Thomas said the TuneIn app isn't working today.
Oh man.
I'm
You know
going-
what?
going
But the
to tune it
KHEA radio app will be soon.
Not today, though. But you can go to
Whenever you
KHEAradio.com.
open the app, that's what it's going to say. Boom,
See.
choppa, choppa.
Chapataka. Let me go. I'm going to
Bye, choppa.
open the TuneIn app, see what's going on with this thing,
Yes, they're good to come.
and I'm going to see if I can search KHEA Radio. Is it going to work for me? Hopefully. It has the song information. It says it's connecting. So let's see. Hi.
Hi, how are you guys?
Y'all doing good?
Come on in, grab a
It
seat.
just says connecting. Yeah, but you can do that. Usually the TuneIn app works. You can search KHEA Radio, and you can listen from an app on your phone, but you're going to be able to do that from the KHEA Radio app here pretty quickly. So we're going to be talking about, it's the Page Project, right?
Yes.
How are y'all doing today?
We're doing
really
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Can you all introduce yourselves?
I'm Lindsay.
Lindsay,
I'm Kayla.
Kayla,
I'm Tiffany Reagan.
Tiffany, Reagan. Okay. So can you all share a little bit before we go on the FM? What is the Page Project?
Do you want me to do this? So the Page Project is a class that began as a community service class for our enrichment kids at school. We're at Deer Park Junior High. And every 6 weeks, the kids get a course catalog and they can sign up for, we've always called it Caring Communities. And a few years ago, we had an 8th grader who was diagnosed with leukemia, Paige Lejeune. And the kids decided that they wanted to put on a fundraiser and raise money for Paige while she was in treatment. And we did that. We did a 5K for Paige. And it's just sort of really gone from there every year. We have put on an event to benefit kids in our own community who are battling cancer. And then last year, the kids decided to name the class in perpetuity the Page Project after Paige Lejeune, who passed away about 2 years ago after battling cancer.
Wow.
So,
And was this idea, did it come from the kids? Was it with the help of the teachers, or how did that start?
The idea came from the kids. There was a group of girls who came down to my office after Paige was diagnosed, and they said, listen, we have this idea. We want to do a fundraiser. We've got to help Paige. These are the ideas that we have. They had a shirt that they'd already made, and they wanted my permission to go and sell the shirt. And then it just kind of started rolling from there. But the kids, and I'm going to let them tell you about it, but the kids really, they put on the entire event. They call local businesses and get donations. They write emails. They meet with the city council and get parade permits. They do it all. They're amazing.
So what is your role with the school?
I'm the principal.
Okay.
I'm the principal, and I'm one of the 3 teachers for this class, and we're just sort of there to guide and answer questions as they come up.
And that's the junior high at which school?
Deer Park Junior High.
Deer Park Junior High. That's the actual name?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you're the principal at Deer Park Junior High.
Yes.
We're talking about the Page Project, which sounds like this is amazing. I love that it's the students who came with the idea, and they're helping, people in the community now.
They have, in the past 8 years, the kids have raised $125,000 for kids in their community.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So we got about 2 minutes left. We can go back on. We'll reintroduce everybody, and then we can ask, why this is important, to you guys, and what the plans are for the future, what y'all have done in the past, and where y'all see this going.
We're going to be in a parade. Do you have any tips or because we've never been in one before?
Oh, well, we personally haven't been in parades, but I have past classes been in parades. Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, we did parade. We had to get parade permits when we put on the 5K.
Okay.
Because they closed the streets off and all of that stuff for the kids.
Okay. Well,
Smile
awesome.
and wave, right?
I think so. For us, I don't know if that'll work because Curt volunteered us it's a parade in Texas City, but to broadcast while we're on whatever we're going to be. It's like a fire truck. It's like a fire, the firefighter games, but they have a parade. So we're going to be on a fire truck, and we're also going to be broadcasting from the back of the fire truck, which we could do, which is cool, but I don't know. So we'll see. We'll smile and wave and have to talk at the same time, be like, we're on the fire truck. But so y'all are going to be in a parade. When is that parade?
No.
We're not going to be in a parade, but we are going to have a concert.
Okay.
Our event this year is going to be a concert instead of a 5K.
Gotcha.
And our concert's going to feature Jake Worthington,
Okay.
if you know who that is.
What kind of music
that name
is Jake?
sounds
He's
from
country.
country.
He's like
Yes.
an American Idol.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
awesome.
That's where I've heard
He was
of
on
it.
The Voice.
Okay.
Besides the
Is he from this area?
He is from LaPorte.
Okay. Yeah, so Deer Park, LaPorte.
hometown guy?
Boom. That's really cool. That's really cool. So here we go. We're about to do this in 5 seconds. Here we go. Good morning. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
And I'm Curt.
It is 10:04. I'm very excited. We had Dr. Chapa in, and we had a great time with him talking about health and wellness. Right now, we're going to be talking to some other guests.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to Deer Park ISD students and principal as well about the Page Project 2019.
Can y'all go ahead and introduce yourselves? What are your names?
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Kayla.
I'm Tiffany Reagan.
So we got Lindsay, Kayla, and Tiffany, and we have the principal at Deer Park Junior High, and then you are 2 students that are also at Deer Park Junior High. Is that right?
Yes.
So are y'all from that? Are y'all from Deer Park?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. the Page Project is something that started some time ago, and y'all are raising funds for kids in the area. And what are those funds going towards?
The funds they're going towards to help the treatments and just the hospital bills for the kids.
For the kids.
The kids? Okay. So the kids, there are two. We have Gracie and Sophia. Gracie is a first grader at Dabbs Elementary, and she was diagnosed with DPIG, which is a terminal brain tumor.
Mm-hmm.
And Sophia is a fifth grader at Fairmont Elementary, and she was diagnosed with type B leukemia.
Wow. And those are both students in the Deer Park ISD in that district right there?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. And so Paige is a student who went to Deer Park and got diagnosed with leukemia?
Yes, and she passed away about 2 years ago from leukemia.
Mm-hmm. But y'all named this, after her, this event. It's the Page Project.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And y'all are doing different events to raise money for those two students?
Yes.
What kind of events are y'all going to be doing?
So at the concert, and we are going to have a cook-off, which is raising money for them too. And they're going to be donating a brisket, and
Ooh.
Cattle Drive is donating briskets for us to make brisket sandwiches to sell. And there will also be puppy petting, drone flying, face painting.
Rocket League. There's something for everyone.
Kurt's
oh
face
my
over there.
gosh, this sounds like the best thing ever. I love drones. I love Rocket League.
You
I'm
should
down.
come.
And barbecue.
You should totally come.
There's something for everyone.
This is awesome. Can you tell us, because we were talking on our Facebook page off air, you're listening to KHEA Radio. We do have a Facebook page that is KHEA Radio, but our 99.5 audience didn't hear about the concert. Can you tell us a little bit about who's playing and what's going on with the concert and when that concert is taking place?
The concert's going to start at 6, and our main guest is Jake Worthington there. So he was a singer on The Voice. He sings country music usually, so he'll be there.
And he's a local guy,
Yes, he's from LaPorte.
so he's coming back to the hometown. Even I love it whenever, musicians, they can go do big things. Being on The Voice is huge. That's a big deal. And to still not be like, I'm going to Nashville, or I'm going to California, and I'm staying here, because, you can do that, but still come back, Deer Park, come back to LaPorte, where you're from, and just show some love. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people asking, sounds like a great event. When and where is this event?
Yes.
So the event is this Saturday, May the 4th, at Deer Park High School North Campus, which is on 8th and Ivy in Deer Park, at Gaines Mason Auditorium. Doors open at 4 for a silent basket auction. There's Kendra Scott Gives Back. All the things we mentioned for the kids, the puppy painting, the face painting, puppy petting, the barbecue sandwiches, and then the concert begins at 6 with Jake Worthington, and then the two schools where our two little girls go that are in treatment, those schools are also going to do a little tribute and sing for the girls.
Question, if anybody wants to get involved, whether that's volunteering, donating food, donating money, time, are they able to do that, and how can they get a hold of you?
They can go to our website at www.pageproject2019.weebly.com.
Or they can contact the school. They can call the school. They can. Our email is on the school's webpage, Deer Park Junior High. We're on Facebook also, dpisd.org.
Okay.
And look for Deer Park Junior High. They can email, call, come by.
Awesome. Okay. And, you being the principal, whenever kids approached you to start the Page Project, can you kind of walk us through that experience? Like, how does that look like?
The kids, if you haven't worked with them as closely, they're pretty ambitious. And one of the great things about junior high kids is they truly believe that the sky's the limit. And so from the very first group on, they've challenged me and our sort of preconceptions of what we can do. When they said, yeah, we're going to put on a 5K, I was like, oh my gosh, I barely walk from the couch to the fridge. We're going to have to figure this out. And they've taught me so much through that process. I didn't know how to get a parade permit, and the kids would come and say, hey, we have to do this. Okay, well, let's figure it out. I don't know how. This year's group, in particular, we kind of went through all the events we've ever done. We've put on 5Ks. We've put on concerts. This is how much money we've raised. Mm-hmm. And they came in the second day, day 2 of the class, and they said, Dr. Reagan, we really thought about it. And you guys have made a lot of money with concerts. I said, yeah, we've done really well. And they said, but it's at dinner time. We want to have a barbecue cook-off. And I just thought, okay, okay. So let's figure out how to have a barbecue cook-off. That's something we've never even contemplated doing. But their confidence and their just sheer will to make this happen for other kids is a beautiful thing to watch. And they have always brought it to fruition. And it's just been a beautiful thing.
I will tell you, I know who's going to win the barbecue cook-off if he
gosh.
enters. He just tuned in and said, hey, I want to be a part of it. It's 3BQ.
Okay.
He's going to win it. The other team,
okay. All right,
the other team should just back out.
Oh no.
I wonder if the kids were so adamant on having the cook-off because they wanted to be judges in the cook-off.
Right.
That's kind of my
That's
angle.
another reason. That's yeah.
Can't get to eat all the barbecue. Who doesn't like barbecue?
Right.
You caught us.
We have some of the best barbecue, I think, in the world, or even in the state. In our area here. So man, we love going to cook-offs and events like this. It sounds like it can be a great time. There's a great cause, as well. Can you mention one more time, over the years, how much money has been raised?
Over the past 8 years, the kids have raised over $125,000 for students in our community. So, yeah.
And then right now, the two students, it's Sophia and Gracie.
Yes.
It's a first grader and a fifth grader right now that have been diagnosed, and the funds from this event that are taking place on Saturday are going to go directly to them and their families for treatment.
100% of whatever we raise will be divided between the girls' families.
Okay.
And go straight to them.
How do y'all decide? I mean, the process for picking the students to decide, who the beneficiaries are.
Any student in Deer Park ISD who has cancer is a part of our benefit.
Okay.
Last year there were 3 students that we benefited because there were 3 students in the district who were in treatment. So.
Okay. Is Paige's family, are they still in the area, and how does that, do they ever get involved? Are they able to help?
They'll be at the Lejeunes will be at our event, so we always reserve seats for them. The kids have made, they call it the Wall of Heroes, and they have Paige's, they'll have Paige's poster up there along with all the other kids who we've benefited through the years. Paige's mom, Amy Lejeune, and dad too, but her mom primarily, they speak in events all around the Houston area, and they talk about childhood cancer, and they work to raise money for research for childhood cancer. So they're great friends of ours. They're like family.
There's a comment on here from Chef Mary Bass, and she said, I love those shirts. Can you share a little bit about, I guess, the design? Like, who designed the shirts, and where does that come from?
Okay, so Lindsay actually made the logo. She actually
drew the logo
designed it
digitally.
Okay, cool. So you're a digital artist? Is that something that you like to do?
Yes, I'm in this whole thing. I'm more of like the marketing person. So
Okay.
I've been doing the logos, the flyers, all of the media stuff.
So what are your plans after you're done with like the school year? Do you want to come and work for us?
Here's an application.
We kind of need some marketing and help making T-shirts and stuff.
Digital designing for sure.
I'm thinking of branching out into something with digital design. So hopefully I can get into that field pretty well.
Yeah. Is that I guess that's something you have interest in as a career one day?
Yeah, hopefully.
Cool. I wish.
You guys are in middle school?
That's what I was going to say.
Yes,
Like,
we're
what?
8th graders.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I wish when I was in 8th grade I knew what I wanted to do.
I wished in 8th grade I could be that good of a graphic designer.
I wish you were that good of a graphic designer now.
Wow.
That would be helpful.
Yes, for sure.
So you were able to design the shirts and all the flyers and everything. That's awesome.
Yes, actually, we sent the logo to my mom, and my grandfather actually owns a shirt business called Fort Worth Running Company, and they actually made the shirts for us.
That's awesome. That's cool. How many shirts are these for sale? How many shirts did y'all make?
Yes, they are for sale on our website, and we made special shirts for our classmates that have the names of our classmates and our teachers on the back.
Oh, that's awesome. Page Project 2019, and then these are some of your classmates,
These
other
are
8th
all of our
graders.
classmates.
Oh my gosh, even the back of the shirt is amazing.
I didn't do that part.
So, talk a little bit about the Page Project and where it kind of, how old is it? Do you guys know?
8 years?
8
It's 8
years.
years old.
And then why you specifically decided to take the class?
I wanted to take the class because I knew it was going to help out these kids a lot. and I wanted to be a part of that.
And I took the class because I remember from when I was in 6th grade and in 7th grade, I remember going to these events and just being at the events and knowing that all of this money is going to the kids just made me feel like really like, wow, I want to help and do something about it.
Can you tell me about the class? What is when do you take the class? How does that work into your class schedule?
Okay,
So there's this thing called Big Red classes at our school. It's only for our school, and some kids get to pick a class every 6 weeks, and we get to change that class. So one of the classes is called the Caring Community class, and so we took that, and now we're here and making this event.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about what you do.
Wow.
in the class, we all sit. We have this little table and we meet and we talk about what we need to do right now and what are all of our goals this week and how we're going to accomplish them and what we just need to get started.
Yeah, is that important for y'all to set those goals even on a weekly basis, and why?
It really is.
It is because if we don't know what we're trying to do, we aren't really doing anything.
Mhm.
We're not moving forward in our process and we're not truly just making any improvements.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, I guess, moving forward. As an 8th grader, knowing that there are events bigger than yourself, because I remember being in 8th grade and, social media wasn't around, believe it or not. It was just like, hey,
The dinosaurs were still there.
yeah, but I had if I played sports or me and my friends, there was a drama going on, and there wasn't the reality of there's a world out there bigger than me. And that didn't really hit me till an event happened a couple years later, whenever 9/11 hit, and it was kind of just like a big reality check that, man, there's a whole world out there. And then things started to change, and social media came, and kind of we ended up here today.
Yeah.
But to be in the 8th grade and already learning why it's important to be a part of something bigger than yourself and to give back is huge. Do you all see that as important?
This event has really opened my eyes to how big things are and that you can help and be a part of that.
Yeah. Do you think there's any limit on what y'all are able to accomplish?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm pretty sure there might be, but I think if we just try our best and we just keep going for it and set those goals, that we will get there and we'll make it.
I'm sorry, you were going to say something.
If we try hard enough, we'll make it.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So if I understood it correctly, 6 weeks is what you're in that class for?
Mm-hmm.
So for the last 6 weeks, you've been planning this event?
Well, actually,
This specific class, it was extended, so it was 12 weeks.
and then it was
And then I stole
extended.
you a couple-
Yeah.
And then she stole us
So
4
we've
weeks.
been
So
in
now
this class for about 6 weeks now.
About 14 weeks.
14
14.
weeks or so.
And you've planned an entire event in 14 weeks as
Yes.
middle school students.
3 days a week.
3 days a week even?
Yes.
It takes us years to plan an event, and we're freaking out. It's week of, and you guys are calm and collected. Are you guys ready for this?
I don't know if we're calm, but I think we're ready for this.
I think we're ready. I think the most thing is we just kind of want the event to come just so we can just it's the event and we're there and we're just
It's crunch time.
Yeah.
We're prepared. And we find this, when there's events, it's like, well, I'm as prepared as I can be. I feel like there's always something else you can do. But, when it's here, let's go. I'm ready for this, and I think that's probably where y'all are at right now as well. So, Chef Mary Bass, who's commenting along, said, hey, I want to take the class. Can adults come and take the class?
Welcome to come.
That
be
would be
part of
fun.
the class.
That would be a lot of fun. When the event's over, because it's this Saturday,
Yes.
what happens next?
Well, we have to send thank you cards to all of our sponsors and all the people who helped and just donated things for our silent auction and just helped us get through everything.
And then we get to present the families with the checks. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about in the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a goal that y'all have for what y'all are going to be able to bless those families with, or is it just it is what it is?
Last year.
Yes.
We're
Last year's
trying to
30.
beat last year's 30,000 that we raised for them.
Mhm.
So we're going to try to at least beat 30,000. That's our goal.
That's the goal right there. So
Yeah.
if you want to be involved and you can donate as well, on their website, if you want to get in contact with them, contact Deer Park ISD and you can make a donation as well. Maybe you can't make it to the event and you want to, hey, I want to help donating my time, my money, maybe some food to sell. Hey, get involved and let's make a difference in some local families' lives.
What is that website one more time?
www.pageproject2019.weebly.com.
And did you guys build the website as well as part of the class?
Yes.
Oh my
We
gosh.
have a couple people working on the website.
How many people are in this class? Because I'm thinking like there's no way it's just a small amount of y'all
13
able to.
students.
There's only 13?
Yep.
And it's only 8th graders? Or
Yes.
is there, okay. You know, as 7th graders, did y'all watch the event take place and be like, I want to be in that class?
Yes, I did. I went to the
She-
concert
I wasn't
because
able to go to the event at the time because of some other matters, but
Yeah.
she went
because
to the event.
we are actually Deer Park Junior High's 4th period choir performed at the concert last year, and I was in that choir. So I performed there, and after they were like, okay, you can go buy a ticket and go hang out at the event. So I went and I bought a ticket, and I went and I watched the rest of the show, and I really just enjoyed being there. And I was like, how they planned this whole thing. So like, what makes it that I can't join that class and I can do it?
Yeah. How does the selection process? It seems like if there's only 13 kids, you know, you have to have a really good reason for wanting to be in there. Is there like a essay you had to write or just a selection at random?
I think a certain amount of kids signed up, and then I believe it was Dr. Reagan. She picked the kids that she thought would be most capable for this class.
Dr. Reagan's like, let me see you design a website. Okay.
How are your graphic design
You're pretty good.
skills?
Check. Okay. Let me see you design a T-shirt. Okay. You're pretty good. Let me see you write. Asking companies to donate. Your writing's good. So that process seems like it would be, sometimes kind of difficult to make, but there's a lot of capable students out here doing really cool things at a younger age. It's awesome.
Yes. So there's 3 teachers in the class or in the classroom. Do you got anything that you want to say about the teachers and how awesome they are?
They've really
be
helped
honest.
us out. Like if we have like a little question, like I'll be like, hey, is this sentence correct? I'm about to send this email to this giant company. Is it okay?
Yeah.
And then they'll check it and it'll be fine.
Yeah, and the teachers, they also helped us like we were just the people who were like, hey, let's do a cook-off. They actually helped us make the cook-off.
Right.
They actually said, okay, well, let's do this then. Let's make this and that if we're going to do a cook-off. And we were like, okay. And they helped us they guided us into the right path into making this an actual event that will actually work.
Yeah. Do you think there's underclassmen, 7th graders, 6th graders that are watching you guys now and we all are probably inspiring?
I think so. I have some friends in younger grades, and I hope I'm helping them to want to take this class in the future.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Because I go home every day, and my little sister, I hope she joins this class, because if she doesn't...
Yeah.
So
Wow.
talk about the event a little bit. You mentioned cook-off, concert, video games, drone flying. Can you tell us how that's going to work and what's going to happen?
Okay, so basically we have some puppies or some dogs from the shelter coming over to where kids can pay some money to go and just pet the dogs and take pictures and little cute frames. And actually our robotics classes from North and South high school campuses are coming together to create these drone flying events, these spheros, they're little spheros. And it's actually an in real life Rocket League. Like there's a remote control that controls a little remote control car that goes and just plays Rocket League.
They built an arena.
Kurt's intrigued. He's like,
I've always wanted it to be a real life Rocket League. Like
Yeah.
I'm driving down the interstate playing. For those that are listening on our FM or also on our Facebook that don't know what Rocket League it is a video game where people drive around in cars and basically play soccer with the car. You hit the car and then it goes into the goal.
Yeah.
So they built a arena, and they built little remote control cars, and
You're
they
just
have
gonna get to drive
controllers,
them
and you
around.
get to control, and they have a soccer ball or some
little
sort of.
and that
soccer
was
ball.
kids from the high school that
Yes,
did that?
Yes, the
Okay.
robotics classes made them.
I wonder if any of those kids are probably past participants in the Page Project as well. I wouldn't be
Most
surprised.
likely.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
How many students have been in the program?
Over the 8 years. Has it always been like 13 students or so in the class?
Yeah, we probably average 12 to 15. We found that like the kids, and they were talking about this a little bit when they organize themselves, they put themselves on little committees. So we found it's most helpful to keep just the number right around like 12 to 15 so that they can check in with each other. And they're modest. I mean, they have group chats, they have their text chains that they're all a part of. So, in fact, girls were talking about it in the car that, well, I've never talked to so many people because they're really having to communicate with each other and really function as a team and really speak to people in our community. They've been to Rotary meetings and Chamber of Commerce events. They were at the Mayor's Evening of Community Praise last week, speaking to a group of 300 with local pastors and everybody praying for Gracie and Sophia. So they get out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that class is 3 days a week, and there's 3 teachers. Is it each teacher does a different day?
No, they're
Everybody's
all
in
there
there?
at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's all hands on deck.
All right. And for you as a teacher, do you bring? Is it like something you specialize in, and then the other teachers kind of help, or is it just like, hey, everybody does a little bit of everything?
We sort of do what the kids do almost.
Yeah.
And I do more of the promos with the kids. So I'm the one driving them, we're at the Mayor's Evening of Community Praise, or driving them here today and that sort of thing. Miss Glasgow, our librarian, she's worked really hard on the donations. And so working with the kids on, okay, I'm a business owner. How would you approach me? And really practicing all of that with them. Mr. Linchek is a technology teacher. So he's kind of worked with Lindsay and her graphic artist abilities and the kids building the website and online ticket sales and the GoFundMe sites that the kids have done. So the kids are doing it, but we're just sort of there for when they have questions or to say, hey, have you thought about this or that, and kind of moving them forward.
Yeah. Do you think this program is something that, other schools, junior highs, even high schools, elementary schools could implement in the future?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think the point of the class is that we could all make a difference in our own backyard. So there's no reason why anybody couldn't pick up that or with a cause or an issue or a problem that they see in their neighborhood or their school district and make a difference.
Yeah. And it was just students, 8 years ago that came to your office and just asked. Was that an easy decision to make?
No, really. I mean,
it's a whole new class. That's the thing. Yeah,
and we definitely wanted to help. So helping was an easy decision to make. But when 13-year-olds come to you and they're like, "Hey, we have this great idea and we're just going to go sell things," and your mind has all these questions of, "Okay, well, how's that going to work?" And you want to be sure that they're representing you and they're representing our schools. So you want to be sure that everything is done correctly. You want to make sure that all of the money goes to the families. You want to make sure that they're getting as much donated as they can. So wrapping our heads around what this as I said, every year they've come up with a different twist or a different challenge. First we start with a 5K. Well, then we're going to have a color run. Okay, what does that look like? And what if somebody has asthma or what if, and you you go through all of those things. And then when we did the concert and then this year with the cook-off. So every time you sort of have to take a minute and say, okay, all right, let's figure it out together because they do the research.
That's awesome.
Are you musical at all? Are you going to get up there and maybe sing a duet? I feel like the students and the community would really enjoy that.
Of all the things I've done, singing has not, through the years, kissing a chicken, sitting on a block of ice, all the silly things that principals do. No, not the singing.
This could be your debut, though.
Oh, gosh.
It could be a fundraising event. Think about that. Like that in itself. Like,
I could play ukulele.
Could be my accompanist.
I'll be your accompanist.
and then you could be like,
see
hey,
how much money you raise. That should be something
Yeah.
right? We raise a certain dollar
Deer
amount.
Park Junior High, you raise this much, and principal will go up there and be able to sing a duet or sing a solo.
One thing that we've learned here at KHEA Radio is if you do something weird and out of the ordinary, people will give money to it. Like shaving your eyebrows or going bald.
It's all kinds of stuff.
It is 1028. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. We're talking to the Page Project 2019. It's a Deer Park ISD event that's taking place this Saturday, starting at 4 o'clock. Is that correct?
Yes.
At Gaines Mason Auditorium. How can people go ahead and get their tickets if they want to go again?
They can visit our website and buy tickets online there for $20. Or if you don't want to do that and you want to go buy them at the door, they're $25.
So Joe Perez, he's one of our really good friends. He does, I think he does some of the communications for for Deer Park ISD.
Yes.
And he said, I'll donate $100 if she sings.
Joe.
That's the start.
Okay.
You got to do it.
That's the
Okay.
start.
Well, after the concert. Right?
Before, no, you're the unless you want to be the headliner, you can be the headliner, I guess. But
Oh,
Hey,
no,
it's
that
$100,
Jake might
right?
have
Come
an
on.
issue with that.
I would say, hey, Joe, like
Yeah.
500, 600. Let's go
Oh,
1,000.
up the
you know?
ante?
Up the
Yeah.
ante a little
Uh-huh.
we know once they see Joe is donating other people, someone said yes, Carrie.
Joe could duet with me for sure, right?
He has the voice of
He's
an
got a
angel, I'm
huge
sure.
following. Yeah.
He does. Yeah, Joe Perez will do some good stuff
Right?
for
We would do
good
anything for Gracie and Sophia.
Cause. All right.
See, that's what I always say. I always I'll do anything for KHEA radio. Yeah. So we did a share-a-thon in December, and someone said, how much would you take to like shave your eyebrows? And they're like, we'll give you $1,000 right now. And I was like, sold. Done.
1,000. Okay.
Eyebrows were gone later that day. It was funny.
It was pretty funny, but they grew back strong.
They did.
I was trying to talk him into getting microblading in the meantime,
Oh no.
but it didn't happen. But he's still down, so we may still do it anyways.
I want to go check out this event that's taking place because I want
Saturday.
to do the
You
real
should.
life
We'd love to have you there.
Rocket League. That
Yes.
sounds like but the kids would get mad because I'm not giving up my turn. Like I'm one of those kids like sitting there like, yeah, it's mine.
No, they built the bot so that when they so if you drive your bot over like a poly spot, the little circular things that we use in PE, those are power ups. So it has power ups just like the real game. Everything. They're amazing. And that's all kid built and programmed.
Kurt's really excited because
Yeah, it's awesome.
I've never played Rocket League, but if I had like $1 for every time I've heard him talk about Rocket League, I could give you the 30,000 like right now.
I'm telling you.
So that, and then you'd be good to go.
It tracks you how many like hours and days and stuff that you've played on that
Oh,
game.
no.
Like how many?
Oh no. How? I don't.
Do you know what
we
it
wanna
is off the
know
top
how
of
Let's
your
many
just say
hours?
I've only owned Rocket League for a year, and there's at least 2 weeks gone.
Oh god.
Like straight,
my
like
God.
you.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Like it tracks how many hours and stuff. It's 2 whole weeks that I've played
Of just that game.
of just that game.
Well, and
It's impressive.
the kids have collected like 50 auction baskets, and there's Astros tickets with parking passes, nice seats.
Mm-hmm.
There's like bed and breakfast packages. There's portraits. You're gonna want to see those too. So we're gonna have to pull
Wow.
you out of Rocket League
Yeah, we're gonna
to get you to bid on some of the auction baskets because they're amazing.
Is it a silent auction?
It's a
Yes.
silent auction.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Kurt has an issue.
I get mad with silent auction. Well, I got mad with the silent auction for the Lighthouse Christian Ministries.
Oh no.
Because they did it online. So people could bid online and ruin it. See, I like silent auctions when I can stand there and intimidate people and be like, are you really going to do that? When it's
Grab the
online,
table.
I can't intimidate anybody not to outbid me. And I got outbid all the time. And
On
I was-
everything.
I was yelling like, no.
But again, it went towards a great cause, like
Yes.
like this will as well, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if Kurt's intimidating people and y'all need him to leave, like we can call like the Deer Park Police Department to
we'll
kindly
send it
escort.
back to Rocket League.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, yeah, go back to Rocket League. You're okay now.
Joe Perez comes over and goes, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. As communications person.
Get out. Don't come back. Leave your money. Okay, go.
Leave your money. There you go.
Just set your wallet on the floor.
So-
walk away.
Yes. Tiffany, I have to ask. I'm sorry. I called you by your first.
No, that's fine.
Sorry.
Totally good.
Students, don't ever call your teachers by your first name. As a
Try not
former
to.
teacher, it drove me nuts. But as a former teacher, one of the things that I liked about teaching and I tried to instill into my students was project-based learning, and that's PBL, right? And that's, they would do things like with local organizations and build commercials or do music videos, and I tried to incorporate a way where they were helping to benefit some sort of project. Project-based learning as a teacher is one of the hardest things to do because it's literally you have to like step away.
Yes.
One of the first things that I always did, one of the like first shocking moments about PBL was I had a student call or a business, and they're like, "Hey, this is Rachel. Can you please give me a call? I have some quick questions for you," and hung up the phone. And this is a high school student, and I was like, "What? How are they going to call you back? How are they going to know who Rachel is? You got to say, this is Rachel with blah. My phone number is," and it just like took me aback. But it was one of those teachable moments. Yeah. Talk about how you've been able to kind of step back and maybe some moments that help these students in real life situations.
It's first I will say the 3 teachers in the class, we really keep each other honest. because the kids will show us drafts of the webpage, the program for the event. I mean, anything like that that's sort of the face of the event. And you look at it and you think, I would change small, this or that. And we really keep each other honest. We're like, nope, kid, that's for the kids to do. Or we'll have our own, kind of steering meeting and we'll talk about whatever. And we'll start to say, oh, well, I can. And we're like, nope, let's call one of the kids. And we're going to put this committee
It's so hard
on that. And it is hard. And we've learned to, we started out just like you said with, go call whatever. And then it was like, oh, whoa. Okay.
We got to teach them.
So, yeah. So you come back and so now we're doing like the mock calls before the committee who's calling, goes off. Even with their emails, I mean, this generation, they text and they snap and they Insta and they don't so much even really send emails. So talking about how to send a formal email to a business, which is like a cold call that you're going to do.
Emails are hard.
Yeah,
I hate emails as well, so we're in the same boat.
Yet they put me in charge of emails.
The process. But when they shine the most, I feel like is when we let them speak, and when we take them out in the community in real world situations, and they're meeting people who might be in a field that they're interested in later, and you can see those connections happening, and you can even reinforce it. We'll go back to the car and be like, how cool was that, and wasn't that amazing? And or like last week, and I was like, okay, that's the mayor, these are the city council members, so this and making that real for them was a great experience. And then getting to hear people out in the community say, oh, we saw your kids, they were great. Nothing makes you more proud than getting to hear that they've done this job well done in the end. So,
and it's really intriguing. You're the principal of the school.
Yes.
And teaching this. How do you find the time to do something like this? Principal's a pretty important job, right?
It is. It's.
I don't know how she does it. I don't understand. What are you doing? How are you doing this? It's a commitment, and it's just something that we've made a priority, and really, our whole school family is so supportive. You can see, they'll look at me, and I'm walking down the hallway, and they're like, "Are you going to Page Project?" Yeah. Okay. Afterwards, will you find me? Totally. And because everybody wants to make that happen for Gracie and Sophia, for the kids in our class, and so I just feel like everybody kind of wraps their arms around the project, and makes it work.
Can you talk a little bit about your background? Did you always know you were going to go into education, and what kind of put you towards this path?
Yeah. Well, I'm a former fawn, so I went to Deer Park Junior High myself when I was a student. I am one of those where my grandmother was a teacher, my aunt was a teacher, and I really grew up in their classrooms as a child. And I always say school was my happy place. My parents were divorced, and things could sometimes be a little crazy at home. But I always knew that school was going to be safe and fun, and people were going to love me and support me. And so I love going to school. So I got my doctorate. I would go back to school tomorrow. I love going to school. Who doesn't love school? So yeah, I think I always thought I would. I started teaching elementary, and then went to the junior high, and I got to coach for a few years and be a student council sponsor and teach. And I've just never left.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to school? Can you tell me those paths?
Sure. Yep. I got my undergrad here at home from U of H Clear Lake. I was working and putting myself through school. And then I was teaching at Deer Park Junior High, and I got my master's degree from Stephen F. Austin. They did this cool satellite in Humble, so I went to Humble High. And then I became an assistant principal, and I was like, I still love going to school.
Yeah.
And went to Stephen F. Austin and actually went there for my doctorate. So every Friday night we were in a hotel room, my cohort, going to school. We'd
That's
go
awesome.
all day Saturday. Yeah.
And that's how people love to spend their Friday nights. In the hotel,
Who doesn't love
ready to go
going
to school. Yeah.
I'm telling you. Yeah. So, and it was a great experience.
Yeah.
I keep the dissertation right on my desk so the kids can see it.
Well, what's really cool is that you're, a student.
Everybody needs to know how hard that was.
Yeah, a student, a teacher, and then promoted within. Is that something that normally happens? I haven't heard of that too much, but that's really cool.
Everyone says that, and I guess we're sort of this unique little microcosm. A third of the staff at Deer Park Junior High went to Deer Park Junior High as a student. So there's a lot of us who went to school together, who are still in the community and still working in our school.
What do you think that says about the community and the ISD in general?
We're happy, and we love home, and we are definitely a family. I mean, it sounds cliche, and it's probably overused, but I would say our school is the definition of a family, really.
Right now it is 10:40. This is KHEA Radio.com, 99.5 FM. If you're watching on Facebook, feel free to share this video out. If you're listening on our website or at 99.5 FM, good morning to you. Feel free to call, text a friend, tell them about the page projects taking place this weekend. How you can get involved is go to the website. Curt, how can they get involved and check out everything going on?
Yeah, it's the Page Project 2019.weebly.com. We have posted that as a comment on our Facebook page. If you're listening at home, write that down. If you're listening in the car, go back later and try to find it. Please don't text and drive. One of the cool parts about this event is there's going to be a local musician who is performing. Talk about how that came about. How did you get
is it Taylor?
Jake Worthington.
Jake Worthington.
Jake Worthington.
We may or may not have sort of Twitter stalked Jake.
She's pointing at you.
We might have, yeah.
So just reaching out to him. That's the way that they musicians communicate. Yeah.
And he's a great guy. I mean, he's been lovely to work with. And, this guy books gigs all over all the time. So for him to take his time and come to our event, I've been calling him a hometown hero because we just really appreciate him for coming home and helping us out with this event.
I don't want to dwell on it too much, but Deer Park made some local news recently because of an incident that took place, and the community is kind of coming together. Talk about how that incident kind of maybe affected this project and how maybe that's going to help this project.
So I've lived in Deer Park my whole life, and those fires that happened were it really, I think, took us all by surprise. You live in the community and you're aware, but I've always felt very safe at home, and I was at church actually when we had to shelter in place. I will say through it all, and it's maybe an interesting takeaway, but it just made me really proud of my hometown. I thought our mayor was eloquent, asking every day for people to just pray for our community, and working so hard, just being there to make us all feel safe. We missed a week of school.
Oh, yeah.
There goes a week of work. There goes, a week of work on the project. Kayla's all excited because she is sleeping at home. And you have all of those things go through. We're in Texas, right? So we have to do the state testing, and that is upon us. We're like, wow, we missed a week of school, and we have that going on. We missed a week of school. We have this event coming up. But the most important thing was that everybody was safe and doing well, and just taking a minute to take a breath and check on the kids and make sure everybody was back home, because a lot of people left. And just making sure that we knew where everybody was, and that making sure nobody needed anything. And then, remember I said that definition of family, then really just coming together to make it work. Okay, we have this amount of time left. There's nothing we can do about that. So how are we going to make sure that the kids are ready for everything that they have going on these next couple of weeks?
And that's a lesson in life, a life lesson for these kids as well. And you use it as a teaching moment as a teacher, right?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. First is just kind of doing that check-in with him and just making sure everybody's well-being is good. And then okay, we still have a goal. We still have a dollar amount we want to reach for our project, and we still, state testing's a fact we live with. It's still coming. So what do you guys need to make sure that we're ready?
Yeah. Is that something I guess a good teacher can do, is use even a setback or something that looks bad, like use anything as a teachable moment?
Oh, absolutely. After Hurricane Harvey, we took buses around and we went to all of the kids' houses. We just brought it. We called them little sunshine snacks, and we brought them just to kind of check on them. But I feel like our teachers are really in tune with our kids, and they check in, every day. They're greeting them at the door. They're shaking their hand. I feel like we know them so well. You can just look and see when something's not right. You can be walking down the hallway, and now I know these so well. If I was, you see a certain look on their face, and you're like, hey, what's going on? We have an app that our kids can use to check in with us, which goes straight to my cell phone with a text message. If they need something and they need it immediately, or they want to let us know that they're worried about a friend or something's going on. So, yeah, we're just being available, I think.
All right, so we have about 15 minutes left. Right now we're talking about the Page Project taking place this weekend. There's a ton of ways to get involved, and I know that we're still waiting for some more donations, so that way Dr. Reagan can sing and put on a beautiful performance.
Oh, yep.
This could be like your time to shine. Maybe somebody will see a video clip. Next thing you know, you're going to end up on The Voice yourself.
On the blooper reels.
Well, no, it's going to be, a fun time. It sounds like there's something for everybody to do. Flying drones, playing Rocket League.
Yes.
There's quite a bit of stuff for you to do, Curt.
It sounds like the perfect thing for me. Am I a middle school kid? Like, did I plan this event? What? When you said drones and Rocket League, I'm like, this is me.
Yeah. Are there any ideas that someone gave out, maybe even yourselves, that it's like, man, we didn't have enough time, but maybe kids in the future can do that? What are some ideas that didn't quite have the time to come to pass?
I feel like we got most. I feel like we got most things.
Yeah.
I think there were little things that we thought of, like, oh, what about a bounce house?
Yeah.
What about other little things that could be included that could make us some more money? But I think that it was just the process of getting those items. We were too close to the event to actually go through with it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to, say, oh, yeah, there's going to be a bounce house, but, no, we couldn't get it. But hopefully kids in the future can make this a bigger event and make it to where there's a lot more activities to be included.
Was there ever a second idea, okay, the concerts, and it was like, hey, these two are battling against each other and the concert won out? Was there another one? Or was it always the music concert?
I remember at the beginning we were in between a concert and something else, but at the moment I cannot remember what we were between. But the concert won out.
Okay.
Yes, we were thinking about doing a kind of a run or a sports tournament. We thought about a sports tournament, but we didn't think it would make as much money as
with
a
the teams and
dodgeball
stuff.
tournament.
Like
a dodgeball tournament. But we
Kickball would
really
be fun too.
we realized we were like, oh, well, we've been going strong with this concert, and the concert has brought us a lot of money. So we were like, we can't really, it's hard to look away from it. Knowing you made that much, it's kind of hard to turn your head away and be like, let's try something else.
Yeah. If you could give any advice to the currently 7th graders, that are going to be in this class, they don't know that they are going to be yet, but next year, y'all are leaving a model. What advice can you give about anything about putting on, this event?
I think stick with the concert or something that's going to make a lot of money. Please continue the cook-off because I hope that turns out well.
How many teams are in the cook-off so far, by the way?
About 7 teams.
But we're still accepting registration, I believe.
Okay, what are the cook-off meats? Are there categories or?
Yes, there are 3 categories. There's brisket, ribs, and chicken.
The big ones.
The big 3.
And who gets to judge? Is it you guys?
Oh, I wish.
Some of us. I'm not going to be a judge. Kayla's not going to be a judge, but some of our other students are going to judge.
We have the mayor coming to judge, and we have
some city councilmen.
We have some city councilmen. We have just a lot of people who wanted to help in the community. We're calling them celebrity judges.
Yeah.
And we actually have one of our teachers from Deer Park Junior High also judging.
Mm-hmm. Has the city and city council, the mayor, has everybody been a big support?
Yes, they actually have, because I think they're in support because of just how long this event's been going, and they're like, oh, the Page Project, yeah, we're totally okay. We want to help, and it's just a thing that everyone in Deer Park knows about.
Yeah. Has it ever been almost like a reality check, like, I'm talking to city council and the mayor? Is it just like, I'm talking to city council and the mayor? Yeah.
I'm talking to people on the radio right now.
Yeah.
What is this?
So that is a moment where you're just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I kind of feel special now. And a little bit.
Yeah.
What's next for y'all after you guys do this project? How do you take this, what you've learned in this class, and utilize it in high school, utilize it down the road? Or have you even thought about that yet?
I feel like since I'm with like the marketing and stuff, I feel like this class has taught me a lot about different types of files and how compatible they are. So need to
It
make sure
doesn't
to
change.
I need to make sure to use the right files next time.
I think this class has taught me to actually just speak up a little bit more, because when we're in that little table we have and thinking about all these things we can do, I remember being like, oh, we should do this, but like I remember not really saying anything. But like the next day we're like, okay guys, we're stumped, we need some ideas, and I was like, okay, well,
Yeah. Have y'all thought about what you want to do after high school? Is that like continuing school or going into a trade?
I hope to go into college. I hope I do anyway. I probably will. I'll probably go into something that involves like graphic design, hopefully anyway, unless my plans change.
Yeah. There's a lot of time.
I also want to continue into college, and I want to go into the medical field, and I want to actually be a registered nurse.
Okay.
Those awesome.
It's both very, very cool professions, and we need both of those. We need teachers. We need everything. There's all kinds of opportunities, especially in our area.
When you get back to school, two things. First of all, what have you learned about Facebook? What have you learned about utilizing Facebook? Are you going to share this on Facebook? Are you going to?
Do y'all have Facebook? First
Are you
of all,
going to tell all of your people?
Okay.
I don't have Facebook, but I'm going to get my whole family.
I don't have Facebook, Mom. I should get Facebook though. My mom has Facebook.
I should
and
probably get Facebook for situations like this.
Yes. Do y'all have
might as well.
any other social media at all?
I have an Instagram and Snapchat. I don't use them much, though.
Yeah.
I have Snapchat. I don't use it very much. I've been asking for an Instagram, Mom, but she hasn't gotten me one yet.
No, you always have to listen to your mom in those situations, because social media, it can be a place for positivity, but there can also be a lot of trash and garbage out there and negativity. And so
I will tell you the one place that always has positivity, and that's KHEA Radio on our Facebook page.
we try.
I mean, if you could get, how many students are in Deer Park?
Out of our school, 900.
900. Man, we could use an extra 900 likes on our.
I wonder what the majority, what the percentage have Facebook or social media at all. But those are good things. That's, good parenting. That, there are rules, and be like, hey, you don't need that, because you don't.
Yeah.
Most kids have Instagram and Snapchat.
Yeah. Cool.
That's like a normal thing, I feel like.
We're old, Gardy. We only use Facebook.
Well, I've had a Facebook since 2007, and so I'll see these memories that pop up, and here's another lesson y'all should take. And y'all don't, because you're not on Facebook, but be very careful what you put on the internet, because it's there forever. So, I'll look back at statuses, and it's like, oh, 12 years ago you posted this, and I'm like, why would I ever post that? Why would I think this is okay? It's not, and so always be careful what you do now, because it is there forever, and you can delete
People
it, but it's still
attack
there.
you even if you're trying not to say, yeah. Anyways, that's a different subject for a different day.
Yeah, it's 10:53. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. We're going to be on till 11. We're talking about the Page Project 2019, how you can get involved. We have seen a lot of people that have wanted to get involved, how we can get Dr. Reagan singing and making her debut this Saturday in concert live, all for an amazing cause, helping two of the students here, Sophia and Gracie, a first grader and a fifth grader, right here in Deer Park ISD.
We got about 6 minutes left, and one of the most important questions that we haven't hit on yet is this event is, 4 days away?
Oh,
Did I just scare you?
Wait, is today the 1st?
Today is the 30th.
30th.
Ew, I got
Okay.
the chills.
Oh, so it's 5 days. It's 5.
Okay.
I can't count.
You just
Wednesday,
lost 24 hours for them. They're like, what?
Tuesday.
Okay.
I'm not counting today. I went Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 4 days.
We need to send you back to Deer Park Junior High. What other classes are y'all taking? Like, you know, I know is it Texas history 7th grade? I'm trying to think about.
Texas history 7th grade.
Okay.
And
We actually have.
You're
a
in
kind of-
geometry?
Yes,
Yep.
we have a similar schedule. We are taking PvP, language arts, and geometry.
Okay, I took geometry, I'm pretty sure, in the 10th grade.
it's
So
a
is that a
10th
little bit
grade class.
advanced?
It's an advanced class.
And we're
yes.
also taking IPC science,
Okay.
which is an advanced science. And Lindsay isn't taking it, but I'm taking dual language, which is basically a program you start from kindergarten, which you're in a special Spanish class.
Yeah.
So you just go and you learn Spanish.
So you started taking Spanish in kindergarten?
Yes. Well, we learn like the basic, like what's purple, what's red, and all those good.
What is purple?
Morado.
Morado.
My mind went blank. I'm sorry.
What's red? Can we get red?
Rojo.
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 See, we don't want to get Kurt speaking Spanish, so we need to be careful. I'm going to turn his mic off because then he starts talking about his belly button. This is something, Kurt's from Nebraska, so he has not had the opportunity to take Texas history, and he's like, why do y'all need Texas history? I was like, first of all, there's a lot that's gone on here, and it's a great class.
Yeah.
They don't have
I-
Nebraska history,
I
right,
really
Kurt?
enjoyed Texas history, honestly. It was a good class.
Mi ombligo el stocky mondo.
Oh, there we go.
There's the Spanish.
Joe said, ask about the other Big Red classes. So that's kind of, you had mentioned that earlier in the interview. Red classes are classes like elective classes, but for Deer Park, kind of, right?
Yes. So
They're interest-based enrichment classes.
Okay, cool.
So go ahead. Think somebody
Interest-based enrichment classes.
What options
take
are
it.
there?
So there's some mandatory ones like Escape the Room is one where you basically learn about puzzles and you get to build your own escape room.
That's cool.
And there's also a sign language one.
There's a sign language class. My personal favorite is called Monsters Inside Me. It's a class about parasites.
Oh, wow.
I didn't like.
No one else liked that class, but I love that class.
There was fencing. There was knitting.
Yeah.
There was
knitting.
a knitting class.
There was a Broadway musical class where they actually put on a show.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just a lot of options that the teachers, if they have third period, a free period, they're like, okay, well then I'll take up a class. And there's Sing with Glee, which is a music class. And
So as
And I would-
students, you get to pick?
yes.
Okay, cool.
I would feel bad for the other teachers because I'm sure like all the students are like, I only want to be in the fencing class, and then they're not paying attention in math and reading and science.
Is that the class that people want to get into, or is it just random? Like, I guess students have different interests.
Monsters has increased in popularity.
Yeah.
Like we had it the first 6 weeks and I signed up for it. There was only like 15 kids in our class.
Molecular gastronomy is very popular. Also, we have a class called Best Buds that's very popular. And it's basically a class where you get to hang out with
Our life skills students.
Okay.
yes, with your,
You get to do some project-based learning with them. So the kids are sort of matched up.
Okay.
And they do some peer learning together.
Peer learning. Cool. Well, these classes sound fun. I didn't have these
are.
classes, whenever I was. Is this like a Deer Park ISD thing specifically, or is this something they're launching everywhere?
Only a DPJH thing. It's
Oh,
only
okay.
it's only for our school, I believe.
So the Deer Park Junior High. Is there another junior high in Deer Park?
4.
There's 4.
there's a lot of junior highs.
Okay.
Which one is the best?
Deer Park.
Deer Park Junior High.
There you go.
Come on, Kurt. Why are you
Take-
asking these
I'm just
questions?
making sure.
Take that, Fairmont.
Man.
I was going to ask them next, what was the best radio station?
KHEA radio.
Right?
But there's only one. There's not 4 to choose from. There's only one FM radio station in Galveston County.
Are y'all in Harris?
Yes.
Which county? Yeah, y'all are in Harris County.
Yes.
So there's a ton of radio stations in Harris County.
Okay, so which one's the best
In Galveston
radio station
County.
that you know of?
Which radio station have you been on
Oh,
in studio?
Yeah. KHEA.
You heard it here first.
There you
heard
go.
it here first. That's some breaking news. All right. So right now it's 10:59. This is KHEA Radio. We need to remind everybody one more time about the event, how they can go donate, get involved, find out more information about the Page Project for 2019. If this is something where you want to cook, maybe you are the best barbecue in the area, you need to enter in this competition. It's for a great cause. Kurt, let them know.
Yeah, the event is taking place on Saturday at 4 o'clock. Can you tell us where it's at again?
At Gaines Mason Auditorium, Deer Park High School North Campus.
Awesome. And there's a concert, there's drones, there's Rocket League, anything that you want. And how can people donate if they can't make it to the event?
They can go to our website at www.pageproject2019.weebly.com, and we have a GoFundMe link on our website, so you can donate directly to our GoFundMe if you can't make it to the event.
Can y'all let everybody know y'all's names one more time, and then we're going to end this broadcast because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to be following y'all through the years. You know, whenever you're involved in events like this in the community, you know, it leaves a lasting impression on you, and then y'all are able to continue and make these lasting impressions on the rest of the world.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Kayla Gutierrez.
I'm Tiffany Reagan.
All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we're proud of you guys. And I think Deer Park ISD and the junior high is doing an amazing thing.
Thank you for having us on.
It's 11 o'clock. This has been Kickstart, KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Y'all have a blessed day. See you tomorrow morning, 8:30.
Coming up next, Toby Mac, The Elements. Bye, guys.
Bye, Facebook.